Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. First of all, apologies for my voice. I'm a little bit sick, you guys. I'm sorry. I think it's just the change of the weather. Literally 2 days ago, it was 31 degrees Celsius, and today it's 6 degrees Celsius. You cannot make this up. Greta Thunberg was cooking. We should have listened, Greta. How dare you? You were right, Greta. I'm so sorry. I don't know what the hell is going on. It was 6 degrees. It's 6 degrees, you guys. I have my jackets out and everything. Like I was wearing all the half sleeve shirts and shit, but it's just freezing. And I'm sick now. You get me? And I hate being sick, specifically before the Premier League weekend. And I hate being sick because I don't take medicine, because I believe in natural healing of the body. Everything I say, I feel like it's just massive hypocrisy because I smoke. So it just makes no sense. I refuse to put chemicals in my body, but I put the most dangerous ones in my body. So, yeah. Anyway, love you all, guys. Oh yeah, it's 6 in Jordan. We're all cooked. Hell yeah, we're all cooked. Like it's literally like, yeah. Let me show you. Let me show you, bro. Look at this. Look at this. Here, watch this. Watch this, habibi. Watch. How is it 7 degrees Celsius minimum? It's April 12th. Greta cooked, man. Anyway, joining us first and foremost, speaking of cooked, he cooked last week, with the whole chance creation thing. Oh, Jamie, don't think we forgot about that, buddy. Man, like Mike is in the building. Hi, Mike.
Big up. Hope everyone's good. Listen, man, we're 11 points ahead, so there's not too much to dig in deep here. We're gonna win the league. We got Mo, we got Virgil. We'll be fine.
Big up, Mike. Sarcasm has flew by me, but okay. Joining us next on the channel, you get me. He's here to be the ever calming presence in today's stream, to bring us all down when we say Salah is going to score 600 goals next season. The man, the myth, the legend is in the building, repping one of the greatest footballs of all time, Giniesta. How you doing?
I'm blessed, man. Big up, Mike, man. We lot say, man. Hope everybody is good. Yeah, man. Should be fun. Should be interesting conversation as well. Obviously, Mo Salah. You know what I mean? I'm surprised Enz isn't here, but it is what it is. Things happen. So
Enz is only here if Nunes gets a GA to tell us all.
No,
what are you saying about Nunes? Is that an NBA logo on your hat?
Yeah, Chicago Bulls.
Oh, let's go! I knew it. And the other side has the actual the actual Jordan logo.
You're just gonna forget about the Yankees hat in the background? Man's got American sports on every single time he's on stream. Every time he's on stream, there's something American in the background.
I love the American sports, man. I can't.
No, big up.
I love the NBA. The playoffs about to start. I'm looking.
Yeah, what it's like 2 more games and then it's playoffs?
Yeah, I really I watch every now and then NBA, but playoffs start and I'm just like obsessed.
You better be watching
NBA.
the Knicks. You better be watching the Knicks. That's all I'm gonna say.
I will be. Actually, the Eastern Conference is better for me because the East is ahead of the West in terms of timing.
It's 3 hours.
So it's a bit closer. And they have sometimes like the Eastern Conference always has a game that's on at like 8 p.m., 7 p.m. UK. Yeah, so that one is a lot easier to watch for people across the world. But I am a fanatic when it comes to the playoffs. Like I will actually stay up till 5 a.m. just to watch a basketball game. So
yeah, because it's mad exciting. It's mad exciting.
Yeah, it is. The thing is, the reason why I don't take the regular season as serious is because the players don't take it as serious. So why should I? Like, I don't really support any NBA club. I just watch because I love the sport, And if you're not going to take it serious and the refs are going to blow at everything, I'm just not interested. So I wait for the playoffs, and it's a lot more entertaining. So yeah, the play-in as well. So actually, I genuinely am excited this time. I think there will be a shock for everyone in the system this year. I think it's going to be a Warriors-Cleveland final. I've been thinking about this. That's my honest opinion.
Interesting.
I think they're going to run back the rivalry, but just without LeBron James.
Well, it looks like Steph Curry will take it home again, and I'll be smiling again. You know what I mean? Like the Warriors are the team I watch the most, to be fair. So
same, just because they're enjoyable. They're very enjoyable to watch. Yeah, very enjoyable. Anyway, speaking of enjoyable, absolutely enjoyable working with this guy. Absolutely iconic Liverpool YouTuber now, you get me? Much better than working with Tom. If I could, I would replace Tom on the Copper show with him. Man, like Jamie is in the building. Hi, Jamie.
Poor Tom, man. What did Tom do? Deserve that? It's true though. It's facts. Yeah, big up, guys.
Thank
and
you.
I,
Thank
and
you.
I hate
Say to the
and I,
best, Jamie.
and I hate American sports. Big up, peeps.
Fair.
Except for the UFC, but even though it's not really American, but it's an American
Very
company.
American. It's American.
It's an
company.
American company.
And all the
American
best fighters
Yeah.
are European. And all the best fighters are European. Big up.
South American, but yes, they're not American. They're not the best fighters are not American.
I actually don't watch any other sports other than the NBA, American sports. I think baseball is
You
way
should.
too boring.
You should try.
I think
hockey.
NFL has way
The
too
only-
many stoppages.
The only all at a North American sport that I like is ice hockey.
Yeah, and the playoffs are about
Oh,
to start.
fair.
There's like 3 games left in the regular season.
Oh, let's go.
I
Let's
like
go.
ice hockey.
Hell yeah, Jenny. You know how we do it on this channel. Whether he's here or not, he's going to catch strays. So, yeah.
Yeah, put some.
Joining us next, Kelleher representative. You get me? His agent is what's his? What does it mean? His client, sorry, not agent. His client is going to be gone this summer. I think the saddest video on YouTube history will be the Kmack channel when Kelleher leaves this summer. I like Kmack isn't a bit big. Hi, Kmack.
He was shit in the last game.
He will. How are you doing, Kmack?
All I can say about American sports is the last time I watched them, I think they were on Channel 5 at like midnight.
Listen, man, we control 90% of the global market.
Like, if you're
when
going to
it's
create
only
a
about
sport
America, so
where you just carry on playing on forever until someone wins, crack on.
Yeah. Fair,
there are no
Weird.
ties in basketball. There are no ties in basketball.
It actually makes it entertaining, to be fair.
They only
Imagine
win,
they had a
3 kicks
penalty
in the
shootout
end,
like
normally,
football
don't
where
they?
You know, I don't
where,
even
where
think,
they just have. Imagine they had like a penalty shootout like football where they had just people shoot free throws.
it's very rare for games. Like, we don't have ties, but it's very rare to see something go into a double overtime or anything far beyond that. It's not common at all.
Do you remember the American League when they did that weird penalty thing?
Yeah.
And they created all those weird
I love
rules.
From the halfway line, they started the penalty there, and it was a run up. It was like a hockey shootout. Like, you start at the halfway line, and you run up and you try to deke the goal.
Who do you think would be the worst at our team at the 10, the best one?
Nunes.
I actually think Nunes would be good at that. Because you have to go around the goalkeeper. I think the worst would probably be someone like Robertson. I don't.
Oh God!
Mm.
Oh God! Could you imagine
You
Robertson
wouldn't put
running
him
from
up there, would
halfway
you, to
line?
take the shot?
Well, you have to dribble it, and then you have to do something. You got to make a move, and you got to make a miss.
Actually, do something in front of goal. That would be
Exactly.
horrible.
So who's the worst person at deking? Like, agility to make a fake. Like, who's the worst pump faker on the team?
You know who I low-key
Nunes is
think
the
would be
worst.
bad at it as well? Gravenberg. I really think Gravenberg would be bad at it. I think
Probably.
Gravenberg would be bad at it.
Probably.
Yeah. It'll be the ones that surprise me. That'll be the ones that will.
Yeah.
I think Van Dijk would do well, even though he's a centre back. But anyway, fairs. And last but not least, here as well to discuss everything that happened this week. He doesn't have a channel yet. I'm gonna push him to start a channel this summer. I don't know if he's ready or not, but I'm gonna add him anyway. I'll just mute his mic just in case he's on a phone call or something. Man, like Emika's in the building. Hi,
I'm here.
Wow.
I'm here, Husam. I'm here.
Wow.
You
Wow,
know.
you actually put a lizard.
It's a big day. Salah signing day. VVD soon. So the spotlight's on one player, and we know who that player is. So hopefully we talk about that today. I'll be on
We
camera.
can, man.
I'll be on camera shortly. I just want to let this one sit for a little bit.
First, I respect. Listen, you're a hater, but I respect it. Like, it's a respectable hatred at this moment in time. I can't even deny it. W's in the chat for the General Aaron, who decided to join us today instead of being on the Discord. So I appreciate you, Aaron. Thank you so much for dropping the 20 piece. Big up to you, Aaron. Yeah. I saw what Vel sent me. Vel is such a fucking fraud. Look at this. He turned the corner taken quickly to Bradley being on it, bro.
Oh, right. Fucking up.
Love that.
Well, I saw someone make it with Robertson, but I think the Bradley one it makes a bit more sense because he's a right back, right footed this time. So yeah. Big up to you, Vel, man. Big up to you. Thank you, Aaron. Everyone get doubles in the chat for him. And listen, 300 people in the building. We ain't even started the show yet. Make sure guys are liking the video. Make sure guys are subscribing to the channel if you're to do so. Also, every single person who's on the stream, their channels are in the description. So please do go give them a subscribe. You will see me as well every now and then in their comment sections whenever they're live. If I'm not live at the same time or something, I'm always showing them love, showing them support. So yeah, please do go subscribe to their channels. And let's start off with obviously the big news of the day. And I actually want to start off with G on this one before we open the floor up. G, talk to me about the whole contract stuff. And even though it's not announced yet, I think it's fair and objective to say that Virgil is staying. So we might as well speak about like him staying.
Yeah, man. I think. Listen, I think Salah staying is. It's good. It's good. It's good. Like, well, no matter your feelings on Salah, like I feel like it's going to be a good thing anyway. You know, it shows that you can keep these kind of players, you know, at your club. And yeah, like even if like let's just say next season he doesn't play that many games, or sorry, he will play games. If he doesn't stay on for a full 90 minutes of these games, you know, at the bare minimum, at least you've got that option. Do you get what I mean? At least you can always say, all right, I can always use Salah whenever I can use him. Van Dijk, he looks like someone who isn't really slowing down at all in his position, you know, in terms of the effectiveness of him as well. So I feel like, yeah, both are good deals, man. Like, I think for me, the most important thing though is what next? You know, for both players, but also for the team. Like, I think that's where my head is at when I think about it. I'm like, great, they signed. All right, job done. All right, what do we do next? Like, how are we gonna progress as a team? Are we, you know, in terms of obviously we have to wait till the summer to get the signings in and stuff like that. But that's what I'm really trying to look at. Like right now, it's all great that they've signed, but if Liverpool don't add in the right areas, then them signing doesn't really make too much of a massive difference. You know, going forward anyway, if we're not really going to improve. So yeah, great that they've signed, but let's see what we do next month.
I don't know if it's true, but I'm seeing like different conflicting numbers for what the proposed wage is, whether or not including bonuses. But basically, the consensus is anywhere from 400,000 to 450 based on bonuses.
480. 480.
Yeah, sorry. But I think the 480 is based on bonuses. I think the base is like 384 a week, which to me, listen, it's a lot, right? 384 for a 31-year-old Mo Salah, that's a lot of money. I also did read that supposedly the salary is not impacting the financial plans of the club. So, you know, I don't want to see any sort of excuse of, oh, well, we gave Mo this big boy contract, I'm not going to sign X, Y, and Z because of it. It's very important that both of them stayed, not just necessarily for the fact of losing the pieces of the spine, but because we're not in a position to future-proof ourselves, right? We're not ready to parlay losing two big pieces like that. We could lose one in Trent, but you can't lose all three at once. So even if the production level goes down a little bit next season, well, we have another season to future-proof that position. Actually, we have another 2 seasons to future-proof that position. And you know, you don't need Mo to have 60 GA to be effective in this team. You don't need any player to have 60 GA to be effective in any team, as long as he's being productive at the right moments, which for the most part Mo has been. When it, you know, when the going gets tough, he's usually there. But for me, it's just I'm on G's side. Like, what does this mean for the future? Like, I'm happy Mo's here, but I don't want him to be the focal point forever. Like, I want there to be a point where it becomes, okay, we no longer need to lean on him to be the creative outlet. Let's add a new piece. But either way, losing them would have been devastating. I'm happy that they got it done. I don't want it to affect the summer. And I'm glad that we can just stop talking about Mo Salah's contract, because it's all anyone's been able to talk about for 10 months. And we can turn the page, we can move forward, and we can just let him finish this season and hopefully hit 20 assists.
For me with Mo, like I think there's an element of him being a little bit like trying to get the best deal with his agents and coming out and saying that nothing's happened, nothing's really gone on, when we all know now that actually conversations were going on for a number of months. And it's great that we've got it done. And I believe it could only be 1 year, by the way, with a 1 year extension. Like, Lewis Steele's talked about it. Like it's not come out yet about how long the actual contract is.
It's 2027, Kmack.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I know. Mo said that potentially he could be here for another 2 years, but
No, Liverpool put it out. It's 2027.
oh, is it 2027?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
it's
so
2 years.
Okay, 2
2
years.
years.
Because he wanted 3, didn't
The
he?
1 year, the 1 year that you're talking about is after the 2 years.
I actually think
okay.
it's
There's
if
an
I'm not-
extra year option, 27.
There's an
28.
extra year option. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought it was the other way around.
Yeah.
Okay, but I think getting these two done has really put us in a good place now, because you would have just had too much to do next year. Like Slot's already made it abundantly clear now that there's a number of players that aren't good enough and they're going to get sold. Like, we all know it. Like, he's not playing his squad. He's hardly bringing players off the bench now, like, of those guys. So they're going to be gone. And we also need to, like, talk about the elephant in the room as well, which is Trent. Like, you lose all 3 of those players out the door on free transfers. You have a lot of the fans who are going to turn on FSG and Richard Hughes, and, you know, it's going to be a case of, oh, you're letting all our players leave. The fact that Hughes and whoever has managed to get these two done is just incredible work. Like, they need a lot of credit, like, where credit's due now, because they were dumped on their laps. Like, they walked into the club and they had less than 12 months left. So the agents and the players had all the power. And to hold fast for that long, to make sure that we got what we wanted, as in the length of contract and the agreement in the players' wages, and they're not getting astronomical pay rises. Like, there's rumours that Mo could have earned, like, how many millions? Like 10 times more in Saudi Arabia? Like, Virgil van Dijk was offered.
Oh, yeah, they were going to give him so
ransom
much
as well.
money. Yeah, they were talking about some TV money too.
It's insane. It's insane the amount of money those two could have got elsewhere. And the selling of it's not a project anymore now. Like, next season isn't going to be a project, because if Mo and Virgil weren't there, it would have been you're selling a project. But now you're selling the finished article. Well, we've won the league. We've got Mo. We've got Virgil for another 2 years. Let's go. And that could get you your Isak. That could get you whoever. So I just think like there's a lot of positives there. And going into that home game at West Ham on 2:00 on a Sunday, which is a shit game time, by the way, and probably would have been a shit game. Now the fans are just going to be like, come on, like, let's get this done now.
Yeah. So I share the sentiments of everyone. Obviously happy that Mo signed.
I left the Trent stuff for you, by the way. Sorry.
Perfect. So Husam, as you know, like we've been talking about this for a while, and I always said I didn't share the same concerns as the fan base for Salah signing, VVD signing, to be honest. I just figured, especially knowing Edwards, like, yes, they have that rule about, like, he has that general rule about players over 30 and giving them long contracts. But when you're producing at the level that Salah is, he understands there's no one else in the market that we could get that can produce at that rate. So I figured it was just a matter of time. As you said, Kmack, like, this board was handed a situation where we had these 3 players are on the last year of their deal. We have a new coach coming in. I will say I didn't expect it to take this long. I figured we'd have it done by January. But I did figure, like, these are world-class players that would want to see, is this coach any good, before I commit my future to this coach. So I never figured the talks of having it signed in the summer, and I didn't think that was realistic, to be honest. And I think, honestly, they've played a blinder here in terms of, for our own security, they've basically said, we're going to wait until April. We're going to see you guys play out the 70 to 80% of the season and see how you perform. And if you guys perform at the level that we expect you to, then you guys can get your money and you can go. So I think credit should go to our board for that. It was a bit of a gamble, but I think it was a calculated gamble. They understood, yes, Salah could make more money in Saudi, but if you guys recall, when Salah was in the zone earlier in the year, they asked him.
Someone's mic is really loud. I don't know who it is. I think it's one of you guys.
Is it me?
Mike or G? One of you guys has a really loud mic, and I think it just keeps like smashing. You know.
I'm on
Anyway, go
mute.
ahead, Derek.
I'm on mute.
Is it me? Is it me, Husam, or no?
No, it's not you because it's. I could tell it's a banging table as you're speaking, but
Okay.
probably Mike because he always bangs his table. Go ahead, Demika.
Yeah, so I think the fact that we got to see them play for 70 to 80% of the season, make sure that they were still performing at an optimal level, and now they get their money. It only makes sense. And as I said, I think Salah, like, when he was in the mix zone earlier in the year, they asked him about Saudi. This was back in like October-ish, and you could see
I was never worried about Saudi specifically. Never.
like he's
That
not
move is gonna be in for him forever. Like people need to understand this. Everyone
exactly
just needs to put this whole Saudi thing in the bag. He could be 39 and they would still want him to play for them. So that ain't like that's just the reality, to be honest with you.
exactly. So the fact that that was the only link that they were linking Salah to is I was like, okay, Salah's definitely not going. And I think one thing, a report actually just came out that it's actually a 2-year with an option for a third. And I think that's actually a big deal because the reason I actually wanted Salah to get 3 years is because I think we can get 2 prime years out of him. But I wanted that extra year so that summer of the second year, if it is time to let him go, we could get something from Saudi because I still think, as you said, Husam, I think they'll still pay for him. Even if it's 50, 60, whatever, I think just to know that they're guaranteed to get Salah, I think we could get some money for Salah on the third year of that deal. And I think that if that report is true, then that's definitely a smart move by our board as well. And then so VVD is coming up next, and I think that just leaves us with one other person now who's the spotlight and who we need to point our attentions to now. And I'm very happy about that because I didn't like the whole narrative of we're protecting him and we're not announcing these other guys so that Trent can basically scurry out the back door. And naturally I have a lizard photo here, and I love that interview that Patty had and how he described it because I think it gets to the crux of it, right? Like we can say what we want about Real and how big of a team they are, but we need to understand this is like the Scouser in the team. There's a way to leave. I have no problem with Trent deciding to go to Madrid. I just think there's a way to handle it, and I don't think he's handled it well at all. And again, I know, Husam, you like to blame it on FSG and people like to blame it on FSG, but I just don't sit in that boat, especially with some of the reports that have come out recently about how he's actually handled and engineered this move in a sense over the last 2 years. There's nothing, if a player's engineering the move in that way, it doesn't matter if you put 400 grand a week on the table for him. If he's made up his mind that this is how he wants to exit the club, there's nothing FSG could do. There's nothing the city's owners could do. Nothing could happen. This is what, from everything we're hearing, this is what Trent has decided to do. And I think I'm happy that spotlight's going to be on him now because the propaganda's already started. I don't know if you guys saw that photo of him walking into the AXA training center with the Firmino book in his hand and the Gerrard book in the bag. And I just think he's taken the coward's way out, and it's really shocking to me. I think when we finally get that Players Tribune goodbye message, it's going to be hilarious. And I think whoever's advising him, again, I don't know who's to blame, whether it's him, his representatives. I just think the way he's decided to go about this it's completely wrong. And it's really unfortunate to see. Obviously, one of my favorite players for sure in the team. So to see him decide to go about it this way against the backdrop of Salah handling things the way he's handled things, VVD handling things the way he's handled things, we have the one player who, in theory, should be the most loyal to the badge going out in the worst way possible. So, yeah, all attention turns now to Trent, and I love that. So let's see how these next few months play out, and hopefully he gets healthy so he can face the music and actually come out there and play, and he doesn't just scurry out the back door like a lizard.
But how
Jamie,
would
you're
you
the only
want
one
him
that
to-
haven't spoken about this.
Sorry.
I mean, what's there to say? Mo Salah and Virgil. You know, I think I said on this channel a few weeks back that the funny thing about Virgil and Mo is that there's never been a concrete story of a team coming in for Virgil and Salah this whole season. You know, there's never been any concrete evidence that so-and-so are coming for him. They're pushing for him hard now. They're, you know, the contracts are on the table. It's up to the player now, like we've heard with Trent. This situation, it looks like Virgil and Salah have always wanted to stay at Liverpool. You know, you hear Mo today talking the love he's got for the club. He didn't want to move everywhere. He's going to be here 10 years. Do you know how mad that is? We've got to keep one of our best players.
That is
for 10
actually
years.
mad. That is
Yeah,
actually
keep one
mad.
of our best players. He's one of the best players in his position in world football for a decade. You know, we're used to these players leaving and going to Real Madrid's and things like that, but he's shown love and respect for the football club and the fans.
Barcelona, Chelsea,
Yeah,
plenty of
to
examples.
stay at our club. So I think he should get all the plaudits he wants. Yeah, he's getting paid, and so he should get paid. You know, we always moan about these players not getting the money they deserve to keep them. Now we're giving a player who deserves it the money, so I'm happy about it. Virgil, you know, it probably I wouldn't be shocked if you hear reports tomorrow that he signed and they do the same thing that they did with Mo today, and you know they give Virgil his day, his moment, and he gets his new deal, 2-year deal as well. Probably the same sort of situation with Mo. But the thing with Mo, the thing that his salary hasn't gone through the roof from what he originally was on, tells you it was never a financial thing. So my thing is, why is it taking
Which
so
is
long?
what me and
Why
you
is it
together,
taking so long?
Jamie, argued
Yeah.
on the stream. We told them it
Yeah.
ain't money, guys.
And it's taken this long to get it sorted. So it's a little bit strange, but look, it's done now. There's no point fighting and bickering about it no more. It's done. You know, we've got 2 of our best players signed. Rival fans are already pissed. We've seen it already. They can't believe it. They thought they were gone. They were having parties. Now they're staying. You hear pundits now on TV, like, I think Paul Merson said the other day they were gone. They interviewed him yesterday. He's like, I'm shocked. I can't believe it. You know, it's bad news for everyone else. These 2 are staying. So I also think to give him, I think in all, Salah had a 14% bump in his wage, yeah, for a 32, 33-year-old. I expect Virgil will probably be similar, 14% bump in his wage as well. If that's the case, I think we're going to spend big money in the summer. I know this sounds mad because of who our owners are, but if we didn't have money to spend in the summer and the wages, you know, giving these guys a contract comes out of our transfer kit, we got no money, we wouldn't have given these guys big contracts. We'd have let them go this year and got younger players in and give them nice contracts where they will be fantastic in 5 years' time. So I think because of that, I think it's good for the summer window because I think we're going to probably spend money in the positions that we desperately need the most. You know, if Kirkes is 45 million, I can see us doing it now. I think Fabrizio said we're heavily linked today with the Bournemouth centre back, and it looks like
Huijsen, yeah.
we're willing to pay out his release clause of 50 million. You know, if we go and get the striker that we all need as well, you know, it could be actually a pretty good summer for Liverpool. So at this moment in time, I'm excited. My excitement is still going into the summer. Obviously, I want to be proved right. I don't want to be proved wrong. None of us do. And hopefully we have a good summer, sign these 2 up. The Trent situation is what it is. The man wants to leave. He's leaving. We can all argue about the situation, that the way he's done it. I can understand both sides of the story. People are saying, you know, he's got every right to do what he wants. And people saying, no, it's not right the way he's treated the football club from a Scouser point of view. Understand the situation. I'm not worried about the Trent contract now. I think the contract they need to do now is Ibu Konate. Get Virgil and Salah signed up. Go Konate, look, your man's not leaving. You go partner him again next season. We'll also go in the market and we'll go get another good centre back as well. We're going again next year. You know, here's a pen, sign that contract. Let's get it sorted. That's for me anyway.
I mean,
Here's my thoughts on all of this. I think the
can I just say
rivals
something on Salah?
that
Can I just say something
Go
on
on.
Salah? Because I think this is probably overlooked as well. Okay, so I'm going to give you some numbers. All right, sorry, but since 2020, Mo Salah scored 116 goals. Yeah, the person below him is Erling Haaland with 84. Mo's on his own. Like, Mo is literally on his own right now. Okay, and then you also have to look at the numbers. He's on 243 goals in his all-time record for Liverpool. Roger Hunt's on 285. Like, 2 years plus a 1-year extension. I think Mo's looking at second place. I genuinely believe Mo's looking at getting to second place in Liverpool's all-time. But then you also have to look at the assists. Mo's on 109 assists for Liverpool in all competitions. Steven Gerrard's on 145. Like, he's not going to get to Kenny Dalglish, who's on 170, but he could get to Steven Gerrard as well. And then you also have to look at the Premier League. Like, the numbers are crazy. Like,
I think he could be second.
He's not going to get Alan Shearer's. Okay, you're not going to get Alan Shearer. He's on 260.
Yeah, he could be second though. 2 years.
But he could get Harry Kane's. But the thing with Mo is, I think Mo's looking at Wayne Rooney's records, and I love that because he's Manchester United and Everton.
The only player on both goals and assists is
he
Wayne
can overtake Rooney on both.
Yeah, he's the only one that's on both. So I think that's important to mention as well, which proves his versatility for all that.
Harry Kane might overtake him because, like, Harry Kane might just come back when he's like 36 and play for some bum team in the Premier League, just get some goals.
I'll tell you what it is. For such an average footballer, he's not got a lot of assists and goals, only. You know,
and you know, this is what I wanted to mention just earlier on. Look, today when I done my stream earlier, I think the Rivals reaction always has something.
That was a great stream, by the way, mate.
Thank you. The Rivals in my chat, the Arsenal fans were annoyed, the Chelsea fans were annoyed, the City fans were annoyed, and there's a reason for that. If you do something and Rivals are annoyed that you're doing it, then you're doing the right thing. Because think about it this way: when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer remained as Man United manager, we were all happy because we knew that they did the wrong thing. You know. Same thing with other decisions we see across other clubs, like, you know, maybe Chelsea with Werner or Arsenal signing Havertz or whatever it is. We look at it from the outside looking in and we just laugh. The fact that all the Rivals are just triggered to smithereens shows me that they're just, you know, they're just pissed off because they know that Salah is here to stay. He's the face of the Premier League now that Kevin De Bruyne has gone, whether people like it or not. He's the face of Liverpool, obviously. And I do think we have to be objective about this whole dropping off stuff because he's currently on 27 and 17. If he's 80% of what he is next season, bro, like, that is still the best winger in the league. And on top of that, if we get a forward line player that can actually put the ball in the back of the net, this is not going anywhere. Like, this is not stopping. It's just the whole concept is getting someone who could also take something off of Mo's back. Because all of the others, to be fair, have showed up in patches, have showed up in certain moments. You know, Diaz here and there, Jota here and there, Gakpo here and there, Chiesa in the final, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But we need someone who does it on a consistent basis alongside him. And I think this is the thing for us. But him staying is massive great news to us. And I think now what we need to do over this next 2 years is try to look for the Salah replacement while he's there. Go sign some 20-year-old, 21-year-old that you think can be the next Salah. That's the thing the smart clubs do.
You don't necessarily...
One thing else, sorry, mate. One more thing is, and this really helps Mo Salah, is this season we've had more penalties than anyone else. We've also had more penalties than we've ever had with Jurgen Klopp. So Mo Salah's getting more penalties as well now because maybe the referees are being a bit nicer. I don't know.
I mean, you know, I don't.
There's a chance of him scoring more pens. Sorry.
It buys us 2 years to not replace Mo, but to just figure out how to play without Mo, which ultimately is the better question because I don't think Mo is replaceable. I don't think that you're finding a like for like profile in that position. I think that you would just have to come to an understanding of, okay, what can I achieve without him? How can I try to not phase him out, but like when he's not there, how can I create the same amount of opportunities, X, Y, Z? But just really quick on the whole Trent thing.
You're saying, though, eye for eye, though, just quickly before you move on to Trent. Here's the thing. Think about what I'm about to say. Before Salah, no one knew that this would be Salah.
No, for sure.
When we find him, if I told you he's gonna be on top 10 goals and assists 8 years later,
you would have said you're crazy.
So there could be someone out there who could be the next. We didn't know could be the next Salah.
You know, the only point was, I guess it's just more semantics. Like it's just
there's never going to be another Salah. By the way,
it's just Liverpool with Salah, Liverpool without Salah. Does that mean that we need to find a like-minded profile, or does that mean that I need to go more into the
So
creative
do
bag.
you agree or don't
actually
agree that
Google's
we need to
something
sign
on
a
it.
youngster who could
Yes,
become the next him?
no matter what, there needs to be an attacker who will play on that side of the field, who can sit behind Mo, and then when Mo leaves, take over. Now, that's not to say that that's the same essential position, but someone's occupying that space. You need to figure out how to occupy it without Mo. Yes, full agreement. And that's what I said when I talked about the contract. That's the most important thing. It's not his productivity next season. It's that I have bought myself 2 seasons to figure out what life is like without him. I have bought myself 2 seasons to figure out what life is like without Virgil. I don't think that any of us would sit here and be confident in even finishing in top 5 with life without Virgil, Trent, or Mo next season. It's just too much. That's too big of a mountain. But with Trent, I think everyone knows my thoughts on him. But regardless of that, all of our thoughts are speculation. And I think that people need to really drill that into their minds, that no matter what, like, I have my opinion in thinking that he dragged the club along for 2 years, but that's speculation. You have your opinion in thinking that, well, it's just the right moment. It's the opportunity. You have to seize it. He wants it for his own legacy. Like, it is what it is. That's your speculation. No matter what, none of us are ever going to have a solid answer on why this kid is leaving or isn't leaving until 5 years later when someone writes a book about it, who is his agent or his brother or whatever. So, it is what it is. He's leaving. We can speculate all we want, but that's all it is. It's opinionated speculation. There's no consensus that we will come to arguing over the ifs, ands, and buts and maybes of Trent Alexander-Arnold. The fact is he wants to go. It is what it is. We move forward.
I will say, though, him going means we have to go for someone more creative in the team, which is a positive, by the way.
That's
because we will have to sign a creative midfielder now, someone who's going to do something which Trent doesn't, which Trent obviously did all the time from the right back position, or maybe more creative wingers. I don't know, but I'm sure that's what we're looking for.
I'm sure the club is thoroughly planning that out. I mean, for weeks and weeks and weeks, we said it's probably going to be April because and it's right about when Liverpool would have filed their taxes. I hate to be that guy, but this is, we got 4 days until that. This is right around that time when they're announcing that these guys are being signed on. Like, everyone sat here in the summer and said, okay, this is either really stupid that we're signing no one, or this is a serious calculation. It's turned out to be a serious calculation. And given that, I have to assume that they're always looking 3 steps ahead. And so, the more they get these things right, and the more decisions.
Well, we're certainly not going to sell our women's team to ourselves, are we? So
no. But to
be fair, they ain't worth a fiver.
Yeah. Getting this done, I agree with Jamie, gives me further confidence going into the summer. Like, regardless of whether you think that that's financial confidence or you think that that's just getting the right things done, it makes me feel better about where we are as a club. It makes me feel more confident that whatever the answer is, whether it's 150 million on Isak or it's 20 million on a random dude from the fucking favelas in Brazil, they will get the right guy in, or at least they will get an option in, and hopefully it works. Because you never know. Isak could come here, tear his ACL, or Isak could come here, he could just completely fall on his face and be a total bust. Like, we don't know.
Would you guys play Salah in a different position next season?
Yeah.
Would you like to keep him out
yes.
there around?
Yes, that's the one, G. That's the one.
I was thinking about that the other day because I was like,
he moved to central.
Him staying there at right wing. Like, I'm not saying obviously, clearly he's proven that he can obviously play there, but I do think you are starting to see his physicality. As quick as Mo is, his physicality is going to inevitably take a decline anyway. And even if it doesn't and it maintains the way it is, the players that he's coming up against, there seems to be getting a lot better. When you're watching him now and he's coming up against fullbacks, now they seem to all be strong. Now they all seem to be just as quick, if not quicker than he is. Like, not all of them, of course. He's still relatively, of course, Mo Salah, and he's fast. But I'm just thinking more long term. Like, could he play another position? I'm not saying he should. I'm just more trying to figure out, what does everyone think? Like, maybe he could play number 10 up front. Like, does he just stay there on the right wing? Because if he stays there, I'm just like, I agree with Husam. I agree with what you're saying, Mike. Yeah, we can get another player in, but I'll be real. The likelihood of you finding this player who's young, doesn't mind sitting on the bench. Like, I don't feel like we'll sign that kind of player. Like, I feel like we'll just keep Ben Doak in that kind of situation. And I don't know if he's really the guy that you want, you know what I mean, taking over. So I'm like,
Don't you think we're minimizing what we are as an institution, though? Like,
We just
there
lowered
would
the
be a lot
price
of
on Doak, by
youngsters-
the way.
There
We
will be
just
a lot
lowered
of
the price.
youngsters. 1 second. There will be a lot of youngsters that would like to come be youngsters at Liverpool. Why not?
no. I'm not saying youngsters, but okay, like, I can't think
Yeah,
of
but that's
top
what I'm
of
saying.
like
So let's say we're scouting and there's this 19-year-old guy in Brazil or a 20-year-old guy in Australia or whatever that we think is going to be the next Salah. Why not?
I'm not saying that we're necessarily that you couldn't find that. Of course, there's enough players out there. Like, we could sign anybody. I'm just trying to think of more of like a bit more logically, because I'm just like, the reality of you doing so is kind of, bro, like you'd have to be super lucky to be able to find that type of player who, again, is crazy young and doesn't mind sitting on the bench behind another guy. Because we all know, if you're sitting on the bench, you're not developing as a player. All these young players that we like, they all play. Lamine Yamal isn't Lamine Yamal if he doesn't play every game. Pedri's not Pedri if he doesn't play every game. Musiala, all of these guys are not these guys unless they play. So if they're not playing, I don't even see how they're going. Endrick all of a sudden just looks kind of dead. But he was playing literally a year ago all the time, and he looked like, oh my God, this guy looked really, really good. I'm not saying he's going to be well beaten, but he just looked really, really good. Now, he's not really playing. He's sitting on the bench. Arda Güler, same thing. They're just sitting on the bench, not doing anything. So I'm like, are you really going to develop? Or is it going to be like an Erdegaard where we see you in like 3-4 years and you're just ripping it up like in the league? I don't know. Like, I'm just trying to think like, what's the next step?
I hear you. Gee, it makes sense, man. I hear you, man. With Salah, if you're getting a pacey striker and a very direct, pacey, techie left winger, I think you keep Mo in the right wing, but you give him a free role.
Okay.
You give him that free, you give him that license to go, you know what, Mo, you're great. If you've got that more, that quick attacking, more direct striker, and you've got that
Runners around him, basically.
Yeah, and you got Conor Bradley at right back, who's young and he can get up and down all day. You got Kirkes if he comes in as a left back. You've got an option where you don't need Salah's width, maybe, because you've got the two fullbacks like we used to have. And you can give Salah that free role where he can play on the whole width of the 18-yard box, maybe, and he can use his creativity if he needs. He can ghost into positions and maybe get into even better goal-scoring positions next season, because he won't be so wide like he has been in the last 4 weeks. Maybe you do something like that with him instead of just giving him let him sort of run the game from the forward perspective. Maybe just put youthful, tactical, quick legs around him that will help him out even more. Maybe.
You know what I think is really interesting about the Mo Salah conversation, like, whether he can come in, whether he can move around. When we lost Bobby and Mane, Mo completely revolutionised his game, and he became a complete forward. And that's when his assists went up. That's when his creation went up. That's when, like, Darwin Núñez had like 50 chances that Mo put on a plate for him, missed. Can you imagine if we have a proper number 9? Who literally spends all of his time in zone 14?
Yeah, but that's what Jamie's saying.
That's not to the zones.
Get runners around him.
Well, okay, listen. I think
the ball in the box for a guy who's always in there.
I mean, listen.
The goals are there. The assists are there for Mo. Mo scored most of his goals this season, by the way, by playing further inside. If you look at his heat map this season, he's on the corner of the right-hand side of the box most of the time. And Trent, all his heat is right down the wing, like the whole length of it. None in the middle, really, this season.
But
that's what Slot wants to play.
The best of Mo this season is 2 positions: transition and overlap. Right? What haven't we been doing a lot lately? Overlapping. Right? We have Mo has been isolated. Luis Diaz has been isolated. It's also, I'm not just hyper focusing on Mo. Like, recently, we've been going wide. We've been trying to isolate fullbacks. It hasn't been working. There's been no overlapping, right? To me, I don't know if changing his position is the answer, but like Husam said, if you add another element, all of the sudden, I can't double team Mo consistently. All of the sudden, Mo actually gets a little bit more freedom, because now there's someone dangerous in the middle for him to go to. But like, ideally, for me, the best situation would be however you solve it and however you feel it needs to be solved, however I feel it needs to be solved. I know that you guys know that I'm a big believer in buying a progressively attacking midfielder. Other people are more in the lines of, no, just get me Alexander Isak and it's kaput, it's finished. No matter what, we need to stop the reliance on Mo. Like this mentality of Szoboszlai always laying it off, Luis Diaz always laying it off.
Is that more of a is that more?
Him.
And I don't even disagree.
Mental,
do you think that's more of a
mental, maybe managerial? Maybe like I know everyone has.
No, that's not managerial. That's total horseshit, Mike.
I think it is.
Don't give the players an out. Do not give them an out, please. I'm begging you.
This isn't okay. This is not okay. I'm not. That's not the point I'm trying to make.
The McAllister goal against Fulham. Does Szoboszlai even take that shot? Be honest.
No.
But Mike is making a point though.
It could be. Like that's not what I
agree
believe.
with his point. I just don't think it's managerial. I think it's mentality.
Which is
no, but can it be mentality if it happens all the time? Is that mentality if it's something that happens all the time though?
But you know who does that all the time?
I'm not trying to. Yes,
Szoboszlai.
I'm not.
No, but the whole team does it. The whole team looks for Mo Salah. So I can't. We can't look at it and say it's just a blanket. It's just Szoboszlai does that, but the whole team will look for Mo Salah. It's only
I think Diaz is capable of taking risks without looking at Salah.
Diaz, they can do it.
But here's the thing: you're making it a black and white conversation. I just think there's levels to it. Yes, I think there are some that are willing to take a risk every now and then, and there are some who are.
But we don't really take risks, so that's what I'm saying. It must be a managerial thing. Like,
but I think McAllister take risk. I think Diaz take risk. I think I'd say Trent take risks when he plays. You know, even Jota, by the way, sometimes ignores Salah.
And Jota does.
The only point here, regardless of what you think the symptom and the outcome is, regardless of that, whether you think it's managerial, whether you think it's mentality, I don't care. That's not the argument here. The argument is that okay, but again, that matters.
If it's mentality, I'm selling Szoboszlai then.
That matters to a different point. The overarching problem here is just the reliance on him, right? The fact that at a certain point this season, 80% of our GA was because or directly related to him. All I'm saying is that whatever we do next season, I just don't want to see that again. I don't want to see Mo Salah being 80% of my offense. I don't want to see us like when our back's against the wall.
No one should have 80% responsibility for goals. No one.
I don't want to. I don't want our default settings to be Luis Diaz, Mo Salah out wide, crosses into the middle. Like to me, there needs to be someone in the middle. There needs to be a central creator. It's just a small element. I don't think that a positional rotation. The only other position I'd want to see him in is in the 9. That's it. Like because then he could drop deep. The 10 could go past him. He has that ability in tight spaces.
I understand where G is coming from because it's a valid question to ask, but I'm not playing Salah central at all. I'm keeping him right wing. I just need us to change the players around him. I want us to sign Sherky to play in the 10 and 2 new forwards around him who are young, youthful, capable goal scorers who will run around him. Can I give you a prime example of this, G? Because I know you watch other leagues and stuff as well. Barcelona, perfect example. Lewandowski, 36 years old, still banging in goals. I know he's down the middle, so it's a different position. However, the theory and concept is the same. Who's around him right now? All young bucks, all just explosive players.
They're all getting better, and they're all getting better. And when Lewandowski leaves, I don't think that they're going to take a tremendous step.
Exactly. Why? Because they're all ready. All the other players are ready to start.
But in fairness, though, the tactics allow for that team to be able to play that way.
They play transition.
There's no one player in Barcelona's team that the game kind of revolves around outside of maybe Pedri. No, there's no we need to get the ball to Yamal. It's like, no, we can get the ball to Yamal. We can get the ball to Rafinha. They got Firmin in the number 10. Whereas we always look. Okay, let me not say it. Maybe that's the wrong word.
But that's what we're saying.
Majority we look for.
Salah.
I think we're talking about the wrong player. I think our whole game revolves around Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah, that's the one.
I don't think this season our game revolves around Gravenberch. That's why
if you watch our creativity is still from right back.
Yeah.
If you look at the way we played against Fulham in the second half, it completely changed when we brought on a proper right back. And the way we was able to play in an attacking sense completely changed the game. We still play from that right back position. Look, all the players are going to look for Mo Salah because no other fucker can score. So
I was about to say that before.
at the end of the day, he ain't got a choice, has he? Like he's got you give him the ball.
When we're talking
it's
about
like
runners,
it's
Jeremy,
like
I think
Bradley
Bradley got more goals than our forwards.
Bradley came on and
Changed
he
that
made
game.
Salah better instantaneously.
Yeah, because Salah went inside. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, and because Curtis Jones was inverting, trying to do the the Garincha thing, and it didn't work.
Yeah, and that's my point. Next season, if you've got Conor Bradley and Kirkez as your fullbacks, they're going to go up and down all game, which gives you that natural width, which means your wide players up front will then turn back into inside forwards and be in the channel a lot more. So
Jamie,
you're going to get more. You got to get more end product from that end of the pitch, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I got one more thing to add as well. Like we are going to sign a number 9. Like we all agree we're going to sign a number 9, aren't we? And it's going to be 2
players, which I said in the earlier
on
show.
It's going to be Kirkez, in my opinion.
It's going to be Victor Osimhen. Like I'm saying it right now. Like I'm gonna put it right now that it's going to be Victor Osimhen because we were 24 hours away from signing him in January. Like he is it. That's why no one's talking about him.
We're not going to sign Osimhen.
Okay, but
look, I said it earlier on
in January.
Listen, here's the thing. When I say something, I like understand where like my logic comes from. With Osimhen, it makes financial sense, but I don't think we're gonna do it. I said earlier on in the morning show before Alex Crook broke it, I said I think we will try for Isak, and if it doesn't work, we're gonna go in for Ekitike. And literally 3 hours later, we get the news it's gonna be Isak or Ekitike. I think if we don't sign Isak, what our club would usually do is go and sign the next Isak. And speaking of, before we speak about transfers, because I do want to get you guys' thoughts on transfers and stuff, let me just grab a couple of these super chats and we'll move on to the transfer segment. Big up to everyone locked in. 500.
Killing me.
What's up?
I said you're killing me because Jamie just brought up a brilliant point about the fullback thing, but we can just leave it for
yeah, but you can bring it up now when we're talking about transfers, right? Because Trent is leaving. You agree? Go ahead. Say it.
It's just I think Jamie is hitting the nail on the head with the reliance.
Breaking news by Paul Joyce. Sorry.
Wow.
Virgil van Dijk will put pen to paper on a 2-year deal in the coming days. And will almost certainly be the best paid centre back in the world.
There you go. There you go.
Sorry, Mike. Sorry.
But no. Listen, I'm happy to. I'm perfectly happy to be. I'm happy to be interrupted by news that heals 10 months of just consistent banter over the same exact topic. But I think Jamie is hitting the nail on the head. But the question I will raise then is: we all understand that when Arne Slot came in, he didn't want to change too much, and he hasn't changed too much. And this fullback model is from the predecessing manager, right? So given the fact that he hasn't signed any midfielders, he doesn't want to change too much. And now the pivotal part of that is leaving. I don't know if that's going to be the way that he wants to play in the next season. I don't know if he's going to want to have those be the central creative areas. I mean, he hasn't even signed a midfielder, right? Like the most important part of the pitch, Arne Slot does not have a signing in. Those are not his midfielders. These are not his fullbacks. Even if Kirkez and Frimpong come in, I still don't think that that's an indicator that Arne Slot is going to continue the Jurgen Klopp way of football and have the fullbacks be our main creators. I think it stands for this season and it stands for what's going on. But the only way that we're actually going to know where we're going to be creating from next season is the second that this guy actually signs a midfielder. And the type of midfielder will tell us. If he signs a Zubimendi, okay, we're not going to be that creative from midfield. If he signs a Cherki, it's like, okay, all of a sudden, I don't really think that Conor Bradley is going to be bombing up the pitch and being the facilitator. I don't think Kirkez might be the facilitator. Maybe Kirkez might not even be the left back. But I think that the way that we play now has a lot to do with the way that we played last year.
Okay.
Can I just say, if this news is true about Virgil van Dijk, he'll be certainly the best paid centre back in the world. This is according to Paul Joyce. Who is at this moment in time the best paid centre back in the world? Then?
I think it's Marquinhos. I think he's on like 350. That's on.
So you're telling me Liverpool Football Club, who have been strict on wages for years, have just decided to turn around and give 2 men in their 30s both over almost 400 grand a week in contracts.
Yeah, but
that's
Jamie,
mad.
Jamie,
whose wages
we offered exactly. Trent was going to get offered 300. So basically, if we do it, you know what? Calculator time. If we do the math, you're adding what? If Mo was on 350 and it goes up to 384, so you're adding 34K a week there, minus the 300,000. So that's 270, and then you're adding what, like 100K to Virgil. So you're still not even.
I'm happy to doing it, by the way. I'm happy to doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, go for it.
Oh my God! Wait. This is the highest paid centre backs in the world. I'm removing Saudi. Okay. Alaba, Lucas Hernandez, Marquinhos, Skriniar, Reece James has a higher salary than Virgil before this new contract.
It's probably going to be like 300,000.
John Stones, Eder Militao, Rudiger, and Hakimi all get paid more money than Van Dijk.
But what is it?
What's the highest one, Husam? What's the highest one?
Alaba, I think.
They have
I
it.
think Alaba
They have it
higher.
in million per year in this one.
How much is
Alaba is the highest one. Alaba's on $23.7 million a year.
Right. Right. You know, we talk about ambition. We talk about ambition a lot. If this is true, does this show? Is this Liverpool starting to show more ambition? Then
wait, that's 450.
If they're using that rent wage money, then no.
What? That's $455,000. If Alaba's on $23.7 million a year, that's $455. Which is what, like 500,000 euros a week?
Yeah, I've used two websites.
But that would make sense for someone they got for free. So that
I've used two websites. Yeah. If you remove Laporte and Koulibaly, who are in Saudi, Alaba's literally the highest paid in Europe.
Alaba's on 361 pounds.
Pounds.
But look at the club that you just mentioned, though. I kind of expect all of those players. I'll be real. They're like the best, or some of the best players in their own teams. Those clubs spend money. I feel like that doesn't really shock me that these guys are on crazy money. But to Jamie's point, it's an interesting conversation because now the FSG out kind of brigade is like, well, what do we do here now? Because if they're showing ambition, then
brigade, and there's nothing to do. Like this doesn't
signings matter more.
No, but I'm just saying, like now, as Jamie said, they're showing ambition. So maybe, do you know what I mean?
It could also be
that's if Trent stays.
It could also be benchmarking for the future, right? Because they know
true.
They know Salah and VVD only have 2 years left, right? So if they know, because they're smart enough to understand that players talk and players understand, like they want to go to teams where they have the opportunity to get paid if they perform. So now with these two players who are literally at the peak, you're not going to find another Salah. You're probably not going to find another VVD for many, many years. When they have these negotiations with players now, you have a new benchmark where if a player wants to get paid like Alaba or Marquinhos, they can just look at them and say, are you VVD's level? Are you Salah's level? Which most players aren't going to stack up to. And that can help them, in a sense, maintain the salary structure going forward. And they only have to pay these guys for the next 2 years. So now for them, they can say, yeah, look, we do pay players, but it's going to be a long time before we see anybody else get paid like that for Liverpool.
And that's really interesting, because if you look at it like that and you don't look at it as an actual wage every single week, you look at it per year. Mo's on what, 25 million? Thereabouts. If he gets all his bonuses, that's 50 million. That's a 50 million outlay over 2 years. If you just put Virgil on the same, that's 100 million outlay over 2 years for two of the best players in the world in their both positions.
As you should be paid.
How much are you going to pay to get someone to replace them?
This just disproves the logic of
all. It makes a lot of sense.
Last 3 years that we got no money and all this stupid shit, because we obviously can afford to do stuff like this. So just when we ask for the FSG out brigade, when we ask for money spending, shit like this proves that we're capable of spending money. We just want to ask.
I'm just asking the question, bro. I'm just
just sprinkling it out.
Yeah, man. I'm just stirring the pot, man. I'm not.
G, are you a man of God?
Oh,
that's a no.
Oh,
not really. But
that's a highly deep question. That's a long way.
Because I use that against you. I don't know why I do that. Jamie,
is this
Jamie knows exactly why I ask
my faith? I'm trying to.
Can I tell you why I ask that question? Jamie knows. I do this to calm him every time he tries to play devil's advocate. I just make him feel bad, so he stops.
Yeah, listen, I believe in a higher power. We'll leave it there. We'll leave it.
So obviously the higher power ain't Satan, so stop trying to be devil's advocate. Anyway,
my high power's the wife. God bless her. You know.
Well, he didn't say. He
I
didn't
could
say
tell,
whether it was Satan.
Jamie is really happy today because he's
Did it
just
keep
in
quiet?
that zone. You get me? More blessings to you, Jamie. Let me just read these super chats before we move on to the transfer stuff. We
Make
all
sure you
love
got that on
Trent. He's an
camera.
absolute baller. What I don't get is how he's supposed to leave. If we don't get 100 million, we still won't be happy. Big up the lads. I will say this though to Emeka and all the Trent is a snake brigade. If he left for 100 million, that doesn't make me feel like he's any less of a snake. If I was thinking that he's a snake, because guess what?
Totally
I
disagree.
thought Torres was a snake and he broke
Totally
the British
disagree.
record.
I
Can
disagree.
I just say something? Can I just say something? And then after that, respond. At the time, as a fan, when Torres left for 50 million, I thought he was a snake. But that was a British record. When Coutinho left for 140 million, I thought he was a snake too. I don't give a shit how you leave. It's the concept of leaving. If you're pissed off at Trent leaving, I understand. I hear where you're coming from. But if when you're bringing in the transfer money into it, if he left for money or not, that doesn't make me less pissed off as a fan.
But Coutinho faked an injury. That's completely different. He faked an injury to.
How do you know Trent hasn't? He's injured now.
Hold on.
Trent saw the injury, but I think the Trent situation's not. It's not the same at all. Like when I say I'd be fine if he asked for a fee, it's just again he could manage expectations. Like, hey, listen, I've literally won everything that there is to win here. Like, I want to try this new experience. The club, I don't even need 100 million. Get a decent fee, right? Just get something to say, okay, you guys have some money now to reinvest, and I'm gonna go do my thing. And then that's when the whole argument of it's Real Madrid, it's the biggest team in the world. It makes sense. Yeah, go and do that and live out that dream if you want to do that. But the difference with Trent is he's telling reporters, I don't want this to play out in public. It's gonna be handled behind closed doors. Yada yada yada, and everything's playing out.
He doesn't want the smoke. He's being a pussy. It's like
no, but is
being
that
a pussy about it? He doesn't want the smoke.
Right. Fair enough, yeah, and I do get that, yeah. But the reality is this, right? He's told you something, he's following through with it. It being played out isn't his business. That's not his fault for it being played out. I get the anger, obviously, of it being played out, which is just a funny coincidence. But he's not playing it out. He's not doing what Mo Salah and Virgil are doing, or what they did, which is
but he
every
hasn't
other
actually
week.
told us anything, G. Like
But
because
but that's the point. He doesn't want to play it out in the public.
Okay,
They
but
did
but G, he kind of is, right?
You
Like,
have to by
Go
not saying any by not saying anything and leaving things up to speculation. That's exactly what you're doing. I would rather Trent, when that news broke, go on Instagram and basically say, hey, listen, like, I love you guys, XYZ, do his farewell post, because the cat's out of the bag.
But why? But why? I don't get, like, why is there this
personal? No, okay. I don't think making a statement is the same thing as playing it out in public, right? Me just being straight with you and telling you as it is so that you don't lose your mind speculating is a lot different than me going back and forth and doing subliminal messaging and XYZ, which he's not doing. He's not doing either of them. He's staying silent and he's not making statements. That in itself is an action. But the only thing I'll say is that if we were not winning the league this season, I probably wouldn't care. I would say, you know what? We're going down the shitter. It is what it is. Love you, Trent. Goodbye. But it's the fact that we're on a high and he decides to leave for supposedly
leave on a
more
high
trophies.
is better than leave on a low.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wouldn't you rather just him leaving on a high?
No, because
I saw Torres leave when we had Hodgson and we were fucking awful. That felt way worse.
In this specific scenario, it would have been a low of we let his contract run down. Jurgen Klopp left. We're not doing well in the league. We got knocked out in the round of 16. It doesn't really look like anything's going anywhere.
That's what he wanted, Mike. That's what he wanted.
100% speculation, though, Kmack. Speculation. Yeah, and I don't want to make. I don't want to make my statements based on.
Big up, guys. More fans need to do the same as Igal earlier. Salam will be. I think you mean Salah. Salah will be the GOAT when he leaves. Guys, I don't know if you saw this or not, but I made Igal crack. I defeated the monster that is Igal Talks Football earlier on. And he said that Liverpool deserves to win the league. And he just had an honest moment with the whole chat. He was like, guys, I'll be honest, I'm making excuses. Liverpool deserve to win the league. I broke Igal. I did something that no one could do all year long, and I broke him. I just knew I need to get him on a one-on-one conversation. I did it. and I cooked. You get me? So yeah, make sure guys go watch that earlier on show. Realist young prodigy signing for Salah while he's here. You want to know what I really want Liverpool to do? Sign a South American right winger who's playing for like Flamengo or Fluminense or Palmeiras, who plays right wing, who none of us know fuck all about, and just bring him here and then loan him out a year wherever in Spain and blah, blah, blah. See what he's cooking. Or maybe if you think he's talented enough, give him Carabao Cup games, FA Cup games, etc., and see what we got, what we're working with. That's all I'm saying. I want to do that thing because we haven't. You want to know the problem with us? We don't sign ready-made, and we also don't do the whole like from South America for 2 million thing. So like all I'm saying is if we're gonna be like cheap asses about it, might as well just go to the Brazilian league, to the Argentinian league, to the Ecuadorian league, sign someone.
Fast food signing. Fast food.
We're watching raining, but we're always watching.
Yeah.
I won't be surprised if we reignite our interest in Kudus. Now that feel like his stock's a little bit down. We could probably bring that price down a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if we try something.
I hear you. I don't see that happening, but I hear it.
He's going
Shout
for
out
the
to Rio
bags.
from
He's
Academy.
going
Rio
for the
ain't
bags in
right
Saudi
winger, though.
Arabia.
Yeah, Rio
We're
ain't
giving
right
we're
winger.
giving out the bag now. To be fair, so
We are giving that the bag. That's a fair point.
At this
Hey,
rate,
we are giving out the bag.
we might actually sign Isak. You know, if we're willing to pay
I'll
a
tell you what.
33-year-old
If
500
we
grand a
do
week,
that, if
Mike,
we've
we will
given
try,
these
by the
two,
way.
if
I
we've
promise you
given
we will.
these two the money that we've given them, and we still go and buy Isak in the summer, yeah, they might.
Don't say
Yeah,
something
long
that's about
day.
to get us cancelled
I'm
because
gonna
I
have-
already know you're about to say some
I'm
crazy
gonna have
shit.
to- I'm
No,
gonna
we
have
might
to
just
have
have.
picture.
We just might let.
The
John
moment
W. Henry.
Jamie
I'm
does
gonna have a
this
John
and
W.
looks
Henry poster right here.
for saying something. I knew he's about to say some wild.
We just have to let Richard Hughes cook. Maybe if he does it, we're just gonna have to let Richard Hughes just do it.
Yeah, I agree.
He
Everyone
already
agrees.
cooked. He already cooked. We had a net positive.
Mike
We had a
always
net
overdoes.
positive this summer,
Mike always
bro. We had a net
You
positive,
always
and we're gonna
overdo
win the
things.
league. We
You
had a
always
net
overdo things.
positive,
You know, Mike, I
and
realize
we're
what you are.
gonna
You are
win
heartless.
the league.
You are
I'm
heartless,
not
Mike.
heartless. I
You
am
have
not
no
heartless.
emotion whatsoever.
You're
but
right.
you
I
always get
I don't.
way so ahead of yourself. You do the same thing with Nunes.
Husam.
Like it's just like,
How is
hey
that not
guys,
cooking?
2 players want to remain at Liverpool Football Club. Hughes gives them an extension.
That
Wow,
isn't the
dude.
cooking that I
I'm
said,
fucking-
right? The cooking
have some
the cooking that they've already done is that we spent $0. We made money. Other teams spent tens of millions this summer, and we're going to win the league by double digits. How is that not cooking? Please explain to me.
Okay, I'll
Explain
tell you
how
how
that's
it's
not
not
cooking.
cooking. We won the league this season. One of the reasons why we won the league this season is because
referees.
Because we got more points.
can I speak? It's because we had one of our players have an all-timer season. I wanted to understand, Mike, the last time a player had a season of 27 and 17 is literally Thierry Henry fucking 30 years ago. That's how rare this shit is. You get me? So what I'm saying, Mr. Mike, is no one coming into the season, not me, not you, even the Salah fans expected that he's going to have 27 and 17 by April. And that's the point. So they didn't do this on purpose. Salah has an all-timer season. Van Dijk has an all-timer season. Arne Slot earned the respect of the players. And the biggest W for Arne Slot this season is what he did with Gravenberg.
Yeah, but Husam, yes, no one could have predicted an all-timer season, but they could have predicted that Slot could make each player incrementally better. So Gravenberg
could have
Hasn't made
predicted
every player better.
They could have predicted that
Nunes
we
ain't better.
compete
Jota
for the
ain't
league.
better.
They still could have
Yeah.
sat there and said
A lot of players
we were
became worse.
close last season.
But a
we
lot
could
of them
win the
did get
league.
better. A lot of them did get better, especially at the
Yeah,
early.
I wouldn't say Slot is the reason why Salah
Making
got
a lot
better.
of enemies today. Okay.
No, so Slot, the reason I think Slot improved Salah's numbers is because he took out the defensive side of the game that Klopp still kind of expected from him. And Salah talked about it, right? He's like, yeah, I don't really have to defend this year. And he doesn't. He's just running around, saving his energy, and then we funnel the ball to him and he gets to do what he wants. So I think that you can't
I
take
don't think
that
Trent
out
is
of
better
the equation.
or Robertson.
Pardon?
I don't think Trent is better or Robertson.
Yeah, well, Robbo was already finished. Trent
Now
I
he's
don't
like
think he's-
ultra
Trent, I don't-
finished Pro Max. Like now it's just like he's just
Trent-
completely done. Do you get
yeah,
me?
he's
Like
done. He's done.
Robertson, you get me? Because he's going out on a high. So
Mm-hmm.
unlike Mike, I don't waffle. If you're going out on a high, respect Robertson. Thank you for your services. but it's
Calm
time to
down
go.
with the
buddy.
maple syrup. No one's
Get-
waffling.
Trent-
You're very emotional. You don't want to face the facts.
You know, if-
cold hard facts of the situation.
Fans in the
Husam,
chat who lived through the tourist moment will tell you, when we got 50 million, it didn't make me feel better because we fucking got 50 million. I couldn't give a shit at the time. I was upset. I was heartbroken because Torres went to fucking Chelsea. That's real rat lizard behavior.
And because
Chelsea.
we were shit, and because we sucked, right?
Yeah.
But to answer just a quick point on Trent, I actually do think Trent, like you said, Trent didn't get better. I think he actually did. He was a little bit less of a defensive liability this year for us. So I think he actually did get better this year.
But that's because he's not as high up on the pitch.
But exactly.
So he's better defensively but worse offensively. That's why Mike thought he's not important because of the GA numbers.
I
he's
still
not
don't
even
think. I
worse
still don't
offensively.
think he is.
He's not even worse offensively. He's just less of a focal point.
I don't think he's. You can keep the calculator regardless of output. I still.
You want to know what the
he's-
problem with
he's
you
vital.
is? You watch the game against PSG, the game against Newcastle, and the game against Everton, and this last game, and you still think that Trent is something that, like, I explained it to you that he shows up outside the stats, and you just you didn't hear me. But now you see.
No, I heard you. I heard you perfectly, but you also don't watch. We each have differences in the way that we see the games. You're taking the extreme view of me saying he's useless, right? I'm taking the extreme view of you saying that he's paramount and beyond important. There's a middle ground between those where it's a mix of useless and it's a mix of paramount, right? It's just two different extremes, but we're not actually being that.
Said that you thought you cooked, like, mix of paramount and useless. Of course he's not useless, because had he played against Newcastle, I promise you would have had more than one chance at Wembley. That alone is like...
Genuinely, I do not. I don't think he would have made any difference in that game.
No, I think
So-
the way that
I
Trent
think
and Salah destroyed Newcastle right-hand side at St. James's Park.
he would have. He would have.
So this season, Mo Salah's, I think he's created 27 big chances for the strikers this season. Trent's created 9. So his numbers have dropped off this season, but he's being used as more of a proper defensive right back, and he's also a lot wider. And a lot of his assists and a lot of his chances have been crosses. His crosses have been much better this season. But the biggest issue we had this season was the rest of our forwards created 9 chances for themselves. Like, there's only one person who's doing anything this season, and it's been Mo Salah, like, just hands down. Like, Robbo.
Okay. Let me read this before we just talk about transfers, because I want to get you guys' thoughts on the future of this club as well. Big up Husam, been a while. Now that we have used common sense, Mo Van Dijk, past 3 windows, we just signed 1 player for now. Slot doesn't fancy. Big summer ahead, need players hit the ground running. Yes, we have a massive summer ahead. We need a lot of players, man. I do think we need minimum 5. No exaggeration. I think we need 5 minimum. Carragher thinks 6. I'm just saying minimum 5. Like, just like base level is 5, to be honest with you. Left back, center back, midfielder, and 2 forward line players. That's like minimum in my opinion. And I'm not one of these guys that asks for a Ferrari. Just get me something that works in that position, and I'm good, bro. I don't give a shit if it's for 5 million or 500 million. Just give me someone that works. Thank you so much to you, Mr. Sinclair. Hope you're good as well. We had 2 Liverpool fans from Tasmania watch us at the same time, and I realized it's a real place. I thought it was the Tasmanian.
Yeah, it's an island just off the.
Yeah, but I didn't know that. I thought
the west coast of Australia. I think it's a little.
Yeah, I thought it was a cartoon. I was like, yo, this is actually a real
Tasmanian.
Well, no, that's where they are. That's where.
Oh, yeah, I know, but I'm saying I thought Tasmania was a made up place because of the.
Oh, you thought it was made up? Oh, got you.
Isn't Tasmania where I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, the Jungle thing is filmed?
I have no idea.
East Coast. There
you go, East Coast. Big up, Tyler.
Pretty sure that's Tasmania. Sorry, Con.
Hey, look at me. My name's Felipe. Tasmania's a state. Shut your ass up. Happy they're staying, but I'm also sad we're losing the best right back in the world for free in his prime. I'm not a big Connor fan, but I can't have Frimpong either. I think putting Connor Bradley as a starting right back is a recipe for disaster next season. I think we need to just go sign someone, whether it's a 22, 23-year-old, I don't give a shit, or a 28-year-old, 27-year-old. Just sign someone with a bit more experience. That's all I'm asking for. Because Connor Bradley ain't ready to be the starting right back. That's all my honest opinion. So,
for what reason, Husam, is he not ready?
There's just a lack of experience. I'll give you a non-Liverpool example. When Ronaldo left and they wanted to use Antonio Valencia as the replacement, it fucking flopped.
Yeah, but that's an attack. That's two completely different. That's way different.
No,
This
but
is
you
like a
need
This
experience.
is a supporting role. You're a right back. It's a
Yeah, but
supporting.
you need experience.
What if I throw this one at you?
I don't
Okay,
think you do.
just a random one. Okay.
Kmack about something crazy.
What if we're looking at Dean Huijsen as a third centre back, and we're going to play 3-4-3?
No, I don't think so.
And
I'm not going to
Kirkes
go. I'm not.
and
That's
Kirkes
crazy
and
speculation.
Frimpong are going to be the right-sided midfielders.
It's very rare for a Dutch manager to play 3 at the back. It just doesn't happen.
I don't want to play 3 at the back.
Yeah,
It's something you can sell.
Ten Hag did it when he was under pressure and he was fucking awful as well. So I don't want to see that, to be honest with you. But
the reality, the reality, Husam, though, is Connor Bradley's. He's ready. Trust me. His only issue is the fitness. If you told me I can get 38 games of Connor Bradley next year, I'd be more than happy for him to start. Genuinely,
you still need a second right back, though. Regardless, you still need to buy one.
No, we need to buy one. We need to buy one. We definitely need to buy one, but this thing about experience.
Yeah, but you're just speculating. So what if we sign Wanderson from Monaco? He's 23 and Wanderson's better. What, you're going to start Bradley for the sake of it then?
Who? Which player did you say?
Wanderson, Monaco right back. Brazilian.
Monaco right back. Yeah. So if you can buy someone better, then sure, buy them. But
I remember right backs ain't really expensive. Like you could get one for what, 10 to 20? No exaggeration. You know this.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, right backs ain't out here costing 300 million or something. Like it's just
right back should
like
not
even Hakimi, who people look at as the best in the world outside Trent, he's only going to cost 50. Hakimi,
do we all think Trent's leaving?
I think he's going to change his mind.
Do you know what's weird with the Trent situation? Because you guys were speaking about it earlier. You know, all the talk coming from Spain, and then you still hear today and yesterday, Real Madrid want to tie it up quite soon, blah, 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 blah. If it was that obvious, and Trent's getting this abuse anyway, the club might as well just bring it out in the open and say he's going. It's not going to derail the fans even more or the team even more when you know for the fact he was going anyway. So because that hasn't happened, it just makes me think like, are Liverpool are they attempting to try and keep him?
They're definitely attempting to try.
We're definitely trying to keep him, Jamie. Definitely.
It would shock, it's just because, everyone thinks he's leaving. The talks is Madrid are going to sign him up. They want him on the 1st of June, not the 1st of July. And they're trying to do all this with Liverpool now, get it all situated, all sorted and all that. I mean, if that was the case, and I'm Liverpool Football Club, I would just go, yeah, Trent's leaving, unfortunately. Put out like a little PR thing like Liverpool do better than anyone in the world, and people move on. But the fact that they haven't done that at the moment, they might do it after Virgil signs, and they might just move the wheels quicker after that. But it just gets me thinking maybe this situation's more complicated.
And I want you to stay thinking, Jamie, because I want you to start us off this next section. Big up to all of you guys. Everyone hit the like button. Everyone please subscribe to the channel. All these guys' channels in the description. Kmack channel, Jamie Phillips Football channel, GTVFC, Mike Das FC. Emeka still don't have a channel. You get me? But we're going to get him there in the summer. So guys, like and subscribe. Go subscribe to all these guys' channels. We're closing in on the 50K mark. You get me? We hit 49.5K. So we're under 500 subs away from the 5-0. You get me? So let's talk transfers, Jamie. And while you're addressing transfers, tell me your thoughts headed into the West Ham game as well. So football and off the pitch as well.
All right, I'll do the game first because I think it's quite easy. With if Virgil does sign tomorrow or whatever the thing Paul Joyce has put out, it looks like it's going to be done. The players already probably know Salah's signing up. I think Anfield on Sunday is just going to be probably quite loud. They're going to be. I think the way West Ham play, they try and play the ball on the floor, but all their players like it in the air. So, it's going to be difficult for them. Antonio's not about, and Antonio always kills us when we play West Ham. He's always that player who always does something against us. I think we win comfortably against West Ham. I think it'd be a comfort. I actually think this one, although it's been stinky for
weeks. I fucking hope so, Jamie. I really do.
Although been stinky for weeks, I could just see Salah doing something. He's going to be up for it, ain't he? Virgil's going to be up for it. Alisson's back now from concussion, apparently. So I think we win that game quite comfortably at home. I think we actually win all our home games till the end of the season, to be honest. Yeah. With the transfers, look, we all know we definitely need a left back because Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo are just not working no more, are they? So They just,
Wow.
it's just not working.
If you've turned on Robertson, I know it's over because you love him.
Yeah, man. Like, I do love Robbo, and I respect the guy, and he's been a great Liverpool left back for us. We can't deny that. But time's up, ain't it?
Scooby-Doo.
Time's up, man. Time's up.
Crazy.
Jamie said this for the Everton game. Yeah, we won the Everton game, my man. Big up.
Oh, Jamie didn't say this for the Everton game. He said this for the Fulham game, and we got bumped
Fulham
off the
game,
park.
and then we had 3 bad individual errors that cost us the game. Yeah, need a new left back. I like Kirkes. I watch, like, obviously there's probably better left backs than Kirkes around Europe, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend I watch shitloads of European football week in, week out to know enough of them and how good they are on the regular. But I see enough of Kirkes this season. I think he reminds me of a younger Robbo. And younger Robbo, when he came to Liverpool, we can't lie, it was an exceptional left back. So if he comes in like that and he's got that energy to play up and down on the left hand side for all the time, then yeah, I'm fine with that. The striking situation, Isak and Ekitike, I think it'll be one of them two. I really do. I do like Liam Delap as a rotational striker, not as a starter, but as a rotational striker, especially at 30 million quid. I don't think you can go pretty wrong with him. Wages would be probably really cheap for him as well. And then the left wing situation. Now, I can't believe I'm going to say this.
He's going
Right,
to keep Diaz.
I said on my channel last week, I'd sell Cody Gakpo and keep Luis Diaz. Yeah, I ripped the band-aid off, man. Yeah,
You give him a new contract.
Wait. Say that again. Say that again for the audience.
I would sell
Guys,
Cody
this is
Gakpo.
Jamie Phillips football chat. Make sure guys are subscribing. There is no way he just said that. Jamie Phillips, the biggest Gakpo fanboy and Diaz hater on this platform. Go on.
And keep Luis Diaz if I had to sell one of them. I think Luis Diaz is a better footballer than Cody Gakpo. I honestly do. I think
Guys, we are done out here.
I think he's a better footballer. I think he's a better footballer, and yeah. So hopefully the people of Colombia can leave me alone now. Yeah, I hope everyone can. So I'll put it out there. So I hope they can all leave me alone now because yeah, the emails I've been getting ain't pretty. I ain't lying.
That's a funny show, that, by the way. You should go and check that show out that he did on Months.
Yeah, it's just they're crazy people, man. Crazy people. I would get Liverpool need pace on that left-hand side and through the central areas as well. If you go and get pace, technical pace as well, like technical footballer with pace, I don't care the club they play for. I think too many people care about the club you go and buy a player from. We should care about the player more than the club. Yeah. You know the young kid who came from Rennes last season? We got Jerry.
I thought you're busy, you cheeky bastard. Look at you in the chat, huh? Look at you.
Yeah,
As soon as you heard Diaz drop, you
we're an hour and
spawn,
24 minutes in, Husam.
It's like a
RuneScape
just turned it on. Just suddenly spawning out of nowhere.
He could have just turned it on. It's been an hour and a half.
Who's that left winger for PSG? Is it Dewey? Is it Did he play for Rennes the year before?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, if Liverpool got a player from Rennes, people are like, why are we going to Rennes for? It's the player. Identify the player. The club don't matter. Do you know what I mean? Identify the footballer. Go and get a footballer that's they think. By the way, I'm with you completely.
I don't even give a shit if it's Zenit St. Petersburg.
Yeah, if he's talented.
All I'm saying is, can we just for once just get all the positions we need, even if it's 10 mil each? I don't give a fuck.
Left wing, striker, centre back, left back, and
one midfielder.
Still missing that midfielder.
I mean, we need one, Jamie.
I know I need one. I'm just thinking of Liverpool. It's a difference here than Jamie and Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? I have this feeling. Liverpool are going to use Stefan Bajcetic next season.
Yeah, it's possible.
I think you're with Callum has corrupted your mind.
As a rotation for Gravenberch, because I don't actually think Liverpool or Arne Slot want a DM that replaces Ryan Gravenberch. I also think Liverpool really like Ramsey from Aston Villa, so I wouldn't be surprised if they went for him. Villa, need to sell probably a youth player because a lot of their outgoings is wages. They got some PSR issues next season apparently, so they might have to sell a youth player for full profit. Liverpool really like Ramsey. I think they've liked him for a while. Obviously injuries have been his issue, but he's actually a very good footballer in that midfield area. If you can get him in there and keep him fit, I think the midfielder will be the last thing we buy. If we buy a midfielder, I think it might be like that dead.
Can I give you a viable scenario? We go sign. We try for Isak. They say no. We go get Ekitike. Okay.
I'm all right
We
with
sign.
that.
We sign Kirkes and Huijsen from Bournemouth,
Good
and
with
then we go and obviously get a Trent replacement. Then after that, because Isak was our big money signing, we go put 70 million on Baleba and get him from Brighton.
If that all happens, yeah, and we sign these two up, we're gonna have to put a shrine up for Richard Hughes.
No, we're gonna have to do if that all happens.
I'm not like Mike. Give him credit for 2 players that fucking want to stay.
If that,
Husam will have to do an FSG in stream.
There we go. Gaslighting my point from earlier and taking me out of context.
Johnny, sign Salah back up, mate. Give him a bit of credit.
Yeah, but he wants
all of that happens.
What am I giving credit for?
If all of that happens, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be pissed because I'm going to say, where the fuck was this for the last 4 years?
Thank you, Mike.
I'm going to be, I will be happy and I will be angry at the same time. But with your question,
it was paying for Jurgen's retirement.
I'm gonna take a page out of Scraps' book here, and I'm gonna talk a little less. So I'm gonna keep this short, and I'm gonna keep this brief. With West Ham, if we see the same lineup, my opinion will be the same. We will struggle the first half. We will barely create. We will possibly go down 1-0 based off a cataclysmic error. We will make substitutions. The substitutions will create all the chances, and because we're at home, we will win the game. That's my prediction if the lineup is the same. If he actually decides to make some changes, well, you know what? Regardless of what the outcome is,
changes. I'm trying to see Curtis Jones start.
Regardless, no, I'm talking about attacking front six, because the front six is what hasn't changed over the last 7 games. I'm not talking about the back line. That's necessity. I don't have a right back right now. Unless Connor Bradley's fully fit, I have to play Kwanzaa or Curtis Jones, but I don't care about that. Something needs to change in the front six. Otherwise, there has been nothing that has happened that tells me I will see anything different other than an emotional response, thinking that, well, Virgil and Mo signed, we'll get it done. I'm fully off that boat with this front six. Hopefully, he makes a change. We dominate. West Ham should not be scoring, just like how Fulham shouldn't be scoring 3 goals against us in a half. It's just that simple. With the transfers, I don't like doing names, so I'm not going to name any names. I don't care if you name Alexander Isak. I don't care if you name some random Joe Schmo from the middle of, Sao Paulo, Brazil, who I've never heard of. My order is very simple. Personal order. Creative midfielder, number 1 most important. Number 2 most important, a striker. Number 3 most important, a left back. Number 4, right back. Number 5, center back. Those are my 5 players. Anything added on to that's whatever. Any name that you want to name is whatever. Those are the parts of the field I think are the most essential in that order. And then that's it. That's all I'm going to say because Scraps wants me to talk a little bit less. So there you go.
West Ham, we scored 10 goals past them this
Scraps is the
season.
biggest Kmack hater, by the way.
Yeah, he is, yeah. West Ham scored 10 goals past them this season. Yeah, I know. It is what it is. Jamie knows that. So we scored 10 goals past them this season. Like we should be knocking goals past these guys. Like we really should.
We should be knocking goals past Fulham, right?
Yeah. We've done 2 5-0s against them, mate.
Fulham's our bogey team, though.
2 5-0s.
Fulham's
when we said the same thing about Fulham, we said the same thing about Everton away.
Wait. When have we beaten
Newcastle?
We beat them 5-0. We've scored 5 goals past them in 2 games this season.
In the Cup, Carabao Cup, right?
And at their ground.
5-1.
Oh, I'm sorry. I moved that competition out of my mind.
And at their ground, in the Prem. So there's no way we're not beating them at Anfield. I'm sorry. So I think Kirkes is done. Like I genuinely think Kirkes is literally liking Liverpool posts now. Like tell us that you're on board the Liverpool train without telling us you're on board the Liverpool train, Kirkes. Seriously. So I think Kirkes is done.
Question for you guys though
I
about
think it's going to be Victor Osimhen as your striker. I know people don't believe me, but guy's played 230 games. He scored 140 goals. He's an absolute goal machine. He'll come to us and he'll bang. I think that's done. I think there's going to be a lot of players getting sold. And I've said it a number of times now. I think there's going to be a lot of players getting sold. Mikey M's just put Byron Gittins in there. I think Byron Gittins could be the one. Plays both sides. Plays both sides. He's young. He's homegrown. I also think there's a possibility that we get Frimpong. He's homegrown as well. Slots talked about him a number of times. And the Huijsen thing, I think genuinely the extra centre-back is probably going to be down to whether we keep Gomez, whether we keep Quansah, and whether we get Canate signed up. Because we've still got centre-backs. Are
we just trying to rebuild the Hungarian and Dutch?
And the midfield is still there. It's still there.
The price that we're being quoted for Kirkes, though, do you guys see us paying that amount for a left back?
38 million.
45?
38 million.
Anything under 40, I feel like is reasonable for a fullback.
I didn't think we're going to give Virgil over 300 grand a week, to be honest. So anything's possible.
There we go.
Anything's possible. You're right.
Look how happy Jamie is.
Well, hold on, Emeka.
Hey, I'll be honest with you. Jamie's so happy right now. You could tell him we're going to sign Messi, and he'd believe you. He actually.
Oh yeah, probably would. On loan in the winter.
I tried to say this last week, and I'll just re-say it in less words. But no matter what the price tag is, what Kmack said is true. We're going to sell a lot of people. So the way that you need to look at this summer window, way everyone needs to look at it, is what's the out, what's the in. All right, so Darwin's out for 60. That means that if I have to buy Isak for 150, guess what? It's actually 90. So I only need to put 90 million cash up front because I've taken one out, I'm putting one in. So if Kirkes leaves, but I sell Tsimikas for 10 million, well, 38 million to 28 million. 28 million sounds a hell of a lot more reasonable. And that's the way that you need to look at all of these transfers, because anywhere we buy someone, that person is leaving. There's no way, because I think that we can all sit here and agree that at every single position, we have a player who you would say, I'm happy to sell, whether it's Endo, whether it's Luis Diaz, whether it's, Tsimikas, whether it's Ben Doak, it doesn't matter. There's an out and there's an in. So, don't look too deep into the price tag until you think about, well, who would I be selling and how much would it be? What's the net?
Fair enough. And I think a report actually came out today about we're expecting like 100. I think it was 150 million in sales, because I know the Saudi links now with Diaz are growing. Obviously, Nunes already has those links.
I think you might get that off 2 players, mate.
Yeah, I think those 2 players we're going to get a big outlay from Saudi for. And then everything else is just surplus to that. But similar to what you guys have said, I just want us to I don't really care about the names, just get the numbers. Get the numbers in the positions that we need, so we're not going in shorthanded next season. I just want us to have a team that can comfortably rotate. We have our leadership team now locked in. Let's put the young, hungry players around them and let them grow and develop. And let's not play Salah and VVD 38 games next year. Let's actually have guys that can come in and take some of that load off so that they can play the best and biggest games.
I know they're playing 38 games.
How much do we get for winning? How much do we win for? What do you get for winning the Premier League? Is it 100 million?
180.
No. 180. Southampton get 100 million for being relegated.
Wait, we get 180 million pounds for winning the Premier League.
I wish it was like that.
What the fuck we talk about Isak for? We fucking paid 180 for him.
Mike, Southampton get 104 million for finishing bottom of the Premier League
for relegation,
and then they're going to be back next year, just like Burnley, and then Burnley
that
go
money.
back down.
So that money equates to almost the same as that Atletico Madrid will get for finishing third in La Liga.
Wait.
Yeah,
Atletico Madrid are going to get 180 million for finishing third.
No. They're going to get roughly around 130, But if you work it out to pound to euro, it's
Oh,
almost the
you're
same
talking
what
about
Southampton
Southampton.
get for
Yeah,
getting
yeah,
relegated
okay.
to what Atletico
Okay.
getting finished in third.
And
That's
we're getting
amazing.
like 100 from the Champions League, right? Or just under 100 from the
How did we
Champions
get
League.
100 from the Champions League? We got knocked down in the round of 16.
No, we got 80 for finishing top of the group
Yeah.
stages.
80.
And
No, it wasn't. It wasn't
fuck is
just
all
for
this money
finishing
going?
in the group stage. It was for winning the games as well. Like you get money for
Yeah,
winning
you
games.
get money for the games, and then for
$2.5 million for winning a match.
Yeah, I think it's like 80. I think it's like 80 or something.
So PSV cost me $2.5
so
million.
total UCL and Prem, we've made 260.
Yeah, so we're gonna have a lot of money coming.
But then think
And
about
that's
how
not
much
even-
we're
and then
paying out.
that's
in
not-
bonuses.
Smile getting bigger as the stream
That's
progresses.
not even. But hold on, but G, that's not even
Man's
including
just getting more
sales.
excited. Like,
So
Again?
if we're being, that's not even including sales. So if we're being conservative, if we're being our most conservative with sales, I would say 100 million would be like the most pessimistic view of what we would be selling. You're looking at almost 400 million pounds. Fuck bonuses. There's no
Mike,
way
let me-
that
let me-
half
let me
of
tell you
that get used.
something. Let me clarify something, Mike. You're my second biggest W after Tom Little. The scouting jobs, you get me? Because I scouted Tom Little from Tom and Vel were on the same panels, by the way. Literally Vel, imagine. Tom was streaming with Vel, and now he's made it all the way to Kopish. So that's like, you get me, my story of bringing someone through. Tom, you fucking fraud. And Mike is the second up.
Adidas.
Mike, you were watching me last season in the summer. I said Alvarez, and I said the thing about Huijsen. You heard me say it with my own mouth. You were watching the streams. I know that this is exactly what's going to happen this summer with the striker position. We're going to go and we're going to try for Isak. We are going to try. I promise everyone in the chat. I promise everyone on the panel. We will fucking try. Now, if that doesn't work, the striker that's coming to the Liverpool Football Club is Ekitike.
Ekitike. Yes.
That's the thing. Like Delap 30 million, that sounds juicy and like FSG and all this, but I just don't see it happening. I think it's gonna be Ekitike. Like I'm certain that we will genuinely try our best for Isak.
How much
But
is he?
Isak to leave needs to kick up a fuss
Mhm.
and essentially hand in a transfer request.
How much is Ekitike?
I think it cost around
70.
50.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so if he's 50 pessimistically, 70 optimistically, and you get 70 from Saudi, then essentially we're not even paying for a new striker.
They got 65 for Mamouche.
Oh yeah,
They want
our
more for
payments
Isak.
will
Not
come
getting
around
from
from-
Ekitike.
They're not.
The
getting
thing is with Newcastle is here's the basic
Even
logic.
50, then you're paying
We
20.
will use some of the things that we have as leverage because they like Kwanzaa and Gomez and they like Elliot.
Yeah. Honestly,
You
I
could
think
go like okay,
the
Newcastle
real-
since he wants to leave anyway.
The
And
thing with the Kwanzaa
that's why
one,
this Sunday, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but this Sunday I'm fully supporting Man United against Newcastle. Like fully supporting.
Yeah.
Man United.
Yeah, I want them. I want them out of the top 5 for sure.
That's what
they
I'm
got a
If
game in hand
Newcastle
as
don't
well.
make Champions League, it makes the Isak dream so much like better.
Yeah.
Because all it takes is Isak transfer request. Hello, Newcastle. Because you're fucked now you're in the Europa League. Here's Harvey Elliott, Kwanzaa, and 50 million for Isak. Talk to me.
Whoa. He's
Oh, well, I'm not
He's
doing
up
a
Harvey.
dual player. I'm not doing a dual player and 50 million for one guy. That is not a recipe for success.
The thing about the Kwanzaa one as well, I thought about that, is if we sell or even give them Kwanzaa, Newcastle, then they might not go for Huijsen because I think they could possibly get Huijsen ahead of anybody else because they can offer him first team football and he's also going into a club that's definitely going somewhere. So that project is a really good project to sell. And if they get into the Champions League, that's a really good selling point. And the other clubs, I don't think can offer Huijsen that. Like Arsenal can't offer him first team football. Like,
Well, to be
you know
fair,
what I mean? In the UK.
we should go to him. Look, we're going to be defending champions. You know, come
No,
on.
I know, but he's going to be
If
third
we-
choice. He's
if
gonna be
we-
third choice.
I know.
If
I
we-
actually think Huijsen might play in front of Kanate if we buy him. You know.
Yeah.
I think that is the project to sell. Look, Kwanzaa got ahead of Kanate. You can do the same. Like,
If we're gonna do this Kwanzaa swap, if this fictitious reality becomes a reality, the only thing I'm gonna say that has to happen is I don't want to have to go buy another center back. So give me Dan.
Mike, they wanted Kwanzaa, but
I know. So
and they were going.
So
And they were
if
going
you're
to
gonna
sell
if
us.
you're gonna if
They
you're
were
gonna
going
give them
to sell us
Kwanzaa,
Isak for 100 million.
if you're gonna give them Kwanzaa for a player swap, I don't want to have to buy a center back. So give me Dan Burn, and I will be perfectly content with this.
I don't think
Dan Burn, are you fucking mad, Mike? Where are you going with this?
He has the most aerial dual ones in the league. Give me Dan Burn. Dan Burn for a year behind
Mike, I've
Ibrahima
been,
Konate and Virgil van Dijk?
smiling. I've been smiling all show. Does not.
Stop it
Well,
now.
listen, we're this isn't a reality because I don't think I mean, the reason why I'm saying it is because I think it's ridiculous to think that we're going to do a swap deal with Isak. Like, if we get Isak, it's going to be for straight up cash. It's going to be for like 150 million. Why would it make sense for someone who's trying to weave their way around the financials to then put themselves into a further hole? You're going after Isak to fill a hole, not create a new hole and fill a separate hole at the same time. Getting rid of a player, I'm down a center back, which means that I have to now go out and I have to spend money. That's a pretty cheap center back as well because he's a youth player and I'm getting no money for him. I'm swapping him with another team. I don't see us putting ourselves in a hole and filling another hole, right?
But it helps us. We're getting rid of a youth player, so that's pure profit.
Yes, but you're getting rid of a center back who's a part of the rotation that you need to now replace.
And that's why I'm talking about you then go and get Huijsen. Doesn't matter. Right.
Well, I mean, I think we need Huijsen regardless of whether or not a center back leaves, because Joe Gomez doesn't.
We need centre backs to leave before we sign anyone.
Huijsen wants Madrid, doesn't he?
Yeah, but he's going to be another backup, isn't he? He's
apparently, according to the news today, that Madrid ain't gonna go in for him. I can only go based off of news.
What we have to look at is there's only two players that we actually wanted that we know about. One of them is Lenny Yoro, and one of them Zubamendi, and the other one's obviously Victor Osimhen, who we nearly signed. Like, go and look into it if you don't believe me. Literally,
where are you getting that report from? Where are you getting that report?
Like, Nunes missed the PSV game because he was on the verge of signing for the Saudi club. I think it's Al Hilal. Is it Al Hilal? Al Hilal?
Oh, but
Nunes.
No, but Kmack, where'd you get this report about Osimhen? I've never heard this before. Where'd you get this report?
It's on Anfield Index, but it came out from a couple of journos. It'll come out. It'll come out more, but it's floating around now, and that's why he didn't play. Everyone thought he was injured or he was sick, but he wasn't. He was actually sorting out his deal, and the only reason we didn't get Osimhen is because the Napoli owner, who basically abused the guy, who's an absolute fruitcake, wouldn't pay him his loyalties, his loyalty money. So he went back to Galatasaray, and he wants to run his contract down just to screw him over. And now they put a release clause on him. Like, obviously they're telling everyone about his release clause because they want to get rid of him. But he agreed wages and everything.
Interesting.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, honestly, for me, if we can somehow get Isak, that would just be the dream summer. We're just set up.
We're gonna score 600 goals next year.
Oh, it's just
how many are we gonna concede though? That's my question.
2.
Okay. All right. Fair play.
No, I'm joking. I don't know.
Do you care if you have Isak and Salah? Because you could come back against anyone.
We win every game 4-2. I'm happy. Do you know what I mean?
No. I am not objecting to Alexander Isak. He would be a sowing
for the last 2 years. It's time to
as long as he's this year's Isak and not the years prior where he gets hurt. If he could stay this healthy and maintain this form, that goes above any possible negative defensively to sign him.
I think Ekitike could score 17 Premier League goals next season.
Well, that's an upgrade on everything we have apart from Salah.
Anyone who scores more than 12 is an upgrade.
This is the thing, like, if you say you went and got Ekitike and Shirky, yeah, that's maybe a 90 million outlay, and you put them in your team, and we just put them in our first 11 next season to what we got now, automatically better next season.
Yeah.
Automatically better next season. I think, I know you don't think Conor Bradley's it. I don't think we buy another right back. I think the club look at Conor Bradley's data and metrics for his age, and they probably don't think there's many better at his age around to go and buy another right back. That's why we never got another right back over Trent all these years either.
Yep.
So I think Conor Bradley will be the number 1 right back next season.
And
I'm more than happy with it. Honestly.
if all of the sudden there isn't such a paramount of creativity coming from the right back, that means that the right back is out of position less. If the midfield does a better job of controlling possession, that means that the right back isn't as defensively liable anymore. All of a sudden, you're looking at a completely different ecosystem. So, I don't necessarily think that we're gonna buy one, and that's why I listed the right back as the least important. I think that that's at the absolute bottom of our priority list.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I think we should be excited for the summer.
I'm very
Hopefully-
excited.
I'm
Fuck
excited
yeah.
for it.
We just
Yeah,
signed Mo Salah.
absolutely.
I woke up this morning at 8 a.m. and I see. Last night, 12 minutes ago, I see, and I texted you right after. I said, Mo. How can I not be excited?
But why do you guys think, right? Yeah. So we're listening to all this, and I was just thinking,
Here
why
we
do
go.
you think that Husam is asking that question, like, or not asking, but you're saying that statement, like, we should be excited, but yet we're talking about potentially 6-7 players leaving.
Don't ruin my chill, G. Don't ruin my chill.
No. I'm just, you know what it is? It's just more like I always sit there and think, like, and I'm these intrusive thoughts. Obviously, they always come into my head, and I'm like, I've got to get them out. And I'm always thinking, all right, we should be happy, 100%. We just signed Mo Salah, and obviously Virgil looks like it's done, right? No worries. Trent, best right back, one of the best right backs in the world. He's leaving the football club, so that's going to be an L regardless on the football club, because you're not going to get the best right back. You're going to get someone who's under him, right? No worries, we can make do. We then look at the rest of the squad and we're like, okay, cool. So Diaz, Nunes, Jota, other players in the Robertson, Simicas, whoever, we're all talking about potentially these guys leaving because we as fans don't deem them to be good enough. So in my head, I'm thinking, so then how good is the squad really then? And we're not even confident that we're even going to replace them. We all want to. We've all named names. We've all named players. But let's keep it a buck. We're probably not that confident that we're probably going to replace, as Husam said earlier on in the stream, which is, why can't we just, which I don't know which may happen, why can't we just buy the players that we need for the positions? But the reality is we're probably not going to do that. So then I'm just like, right, so, how good really is this team if we're complaining about most of these guys and we want basically a whole new 11 to kind of come in?
No, we don't want a new 11.
Whoa. I mean, I think a lot of these people, I mean,
we're talking about getting a new right back in. We want a new left back in. We're talking about getting 2 new forwards in.
I don't want a new right back.
Yeah, we don't want a new right back.
But
we need a right back. Like as in, we have one right back when Trent leaves.
We could do with a backup.
Another
right
back.
If we assumed everybody was staying, I think most people would say they want a new left back. They want a new 10 for Soboslai. They want a new striker, like those 3 for certain, and then some people would probably say a left back as well.
Three out of 3.
I think 3 out of the 11 positions is where most people
I would say people are talking more 4 to 5, the way that everyone else seems to be talking.
Starting 11, I think that's great.
Starting 11.
That's what I'm saying. In the starting 11, people are more. The way I'm hearing it is that it's coming across again. New left back, a new right back, right?
Two attacking positions. You have to look at it as the guys that we think will get sold have not been played by the manager.
No.
Difference regardless.
I don't care. Edgeways,
like it hasn't been played.
What I'm trying to get at,
haven't been played.
But this is the point. This is the point I'm trying to make. Is that so? Then how good are they? If they're not even being played by the guy who's the actual team.
I understand what G's saying. It makes sense. I think what it is, a lot of Liverpool players in this squad have come to the end of their cycle, and their cycle is probably going to end with them just winning the league. I say just win the league. Winning the league is a fucking amazing thing. I meant winning the league. Yeah. And they're at the end of their cycle.
Yeah. We've seen
the great Man United sides in the past as well. Have extremely talented players that come to the end of the cycle. They move them on. They get 3 or 4 in occasionally. Move it about. Man City have got what many people would say a great squad. Look at some of the players they've got. They're ballers, but they have to go again next season and completely rebuild and probably bring in 6 players themselves with the 4 players they bought in January. I think Liverpool's team was good enough to go and get over the line and win a Premier League trophy. But that don't mean that same 11 can go again next season. So I think that some players have just gone to the end of their cycle. You know, Robbo's 30 now. He's played for 7 years for Liverpool at the highest level, barely resting, 100 miles an hour every week. It's just come to the end of his cycle. You know, we done as much as we could with Darwin. You know, the manager don't rate him. Off you go. Luis Diaz is coming. He'll be 29 going into next season, or some part of next season he'll be 29. Just coming to the end of his cycle and probably needs to move on. Sorry, Colombia. Probably needs to be moved on, and you just go and get a fresh legs in that position to keep your momentum going. So I understand what you're saying, Jen. It makes sense, but I think it's just everyone's just come to the end, move on, get new people in, keep going. Otherwise, if you stay with what you got, you probably stagnate.
No, and this is it. That this is kind of my point. More so, like, I agree with you. I do think a lot of them. Yeah, they've come to the end of the Liverpool cycle. Like Nunes isn't old, Diaz isn't old, Szoboszlai isn't old. Yeah, our Liverpool cycle. I definitely agree with that. But that's the point. I feel like I've kind of had throughout the whole season is that clearly the squad is not as good as we keep claiming it actually to be. Maybe the 11 is. I'm not saying the 11 isn't good, clearly, because we're about to be 11, 12, whatever points ahead of Arsenal, right? But when we look at the team, like the squad's kind of poor when you think about it, because the reality is, even when you then, if we're talking about 3 or 4 players just to come in, let's just say, I'll even be kind and just say 3 players for the first 11. We're still looking at the bench, and I mean, if we're looking at the bench and we're still trying to figure out, well, we need some more players to come in. We've got players potentially coming back off loan, which most don't even rate anyway. I'm then looking at it thinking, well, then how good is the squad really to be able to go again? I'm not saying that we can't win, by the way. Clearly, we
that's
can.
Probably why that's probably why Slott's played the same 11 all year.
But he's shown everybody, and that's the bit I never understood, is that he showed everybody this squad ain't that good.
So the first 11, our first 11 is as good as anything in the league.
Yeah, 100 million.
And because it stayed pretty much fit all season.
Yeah,
he's been able to bash it out all season, Pauls, and get us over the line, winning the Premier League title with it. But next season, you can't go with the same 11 again, because look what's happened to Arsenal. 2 years in a row, they went with the same 11, no squad, massive injuries. So next season, keep the majority of the first 11, but then get quality players underneath it. That if you can rotate, you can keep your level high, can't you?
I think Slott's also realised that he does need more players. Like I know he come in and he thought that he could like work with a really small squad, but you can't fight on 4 fronts with a small squad. You just can't do it. And eventually players do get injured and suspensions and whatever like. So you will have to rotate a bit more. And I think that's the bit which has probably caught him out a bit, is he hadn't rotated enough. And we obviously got caught out in the Forest game because he didn't rotate, and that was his only loss at home in the Premier League. And obviously, he rotated too much in some of the other games that we say that we didn't do well in. Like we only lost I think we lost 6 games all season. By the way, it's quite insane. But you give him more players, so he's got like a 15-man squad where any 15 can play whenever. Mm-hmm. Then he's got a couple of other players, like younger players maybe, that are going to come in and do bits. Then I just think we'll be in a better place.
I think it's going to be
one in, one out.
I think it's one in, one out. I think we just need to get better players, because I don't know if we saw. I think it was his press conference after the Fulham game where he said, the players understand that, like, when he made that comment about City, how City, like, we're not like City where we're killing teams 3-0 by halftime. Like, the team understands for us to win, we have to actually grind and fight for our wins, which is true, right? Like our most popular scoreline this year was the 2-2 loves, right? Which isn't really a blowout, but it's just you get your second goal and then we kind of just relaxed on the ball. But we've never really been the team that's killing teams. And I think that's the quality issue that we're talking about. I think he realizes that we need to get quality players in key positions, specifically up front, so that we can actually start killing teams and putting up scorelines that are more representative of the Liverpool of 2019, 2020, etc. But so, G, I get what you're saying. I agree. I don't actually think our team is that great. We've been carried by some generational players, which have made the collective look better than they actually are. But again, I don't think that's gonna. If we tried to do the same thing next year, it's definitely not gonna work. So, yeah, it's an important summer. So let's see.
I don't even think it needs to be. It doesn't even need to be that deep in my mind. Like Arne Slot has done a world class, unbelievable, unprecedented job at driving Lewis Hamilton's car. But guess what, Mercedes? You need to build a car for Arne Slot. He needs his own finely tuned system. Regardless of whether or not you rate the players XYZ, players don't get played. He needs his own fine tuning. And, at the end of the day, Arne Slot lost one game in all of 2024, and he's lost 5 games in the first 4 months of 2025. To me, I know that we're 11 points ahead. For me, I know that we're 11 points ahead, but that is not a good sign. Okay, and regardless of whether that's his fault for not rotating the squad or not using the squad, the only thing that I can look at is that it's not his squad because no one has been bought and used underneath this manager. It is all things that came from his predecessor. So whether it's an upgrade or it's just a switch in profile, and at the end of the day, there isn't really a difference between Harvey Elliott and whoever comes in on a potential or talent level, but there is a difference on a profile level and how he would use them. Whatever is best for him to tune the car, to keep going like this and into the future, that's just the way that I see it. And ultimately, this is the same problem that we had under Jurgen Klopp and in Jurgen Klopp teams, running out of gas at the end of the season. And I think that crazy stat of it's been just over 4 months, we've had a 2-week break, and Arne Slot has lost 5 times more games this year than he did in all of last year. I know that half of that was with another team, but that's regardless. It's still a very impressive feat. And it's no secret that since the turn of the year, this team hasn't even looked remotely close to the team that we saw from August to December. So, we got to move players on. We got to buy the right profiles for him. We have to tune it to him, whether that's upping the talent or just changing the profile. I don't care how you see it. It's something that needs to get done. But I don't think that we're going to see like 40% or 50% of our starting 11 change. I just think that throughout the course of the season, you'll probably see, if we bought a creative midfielder, you'd probably see Soboslai being used as rotation for Gravenberch because he just covers the same amount of ground. Or you'd probably see McAllister being rotation for whoever that creative 10 is, and Soboslai goes there. You'll just see more mixing and matching. And you won't see the same thing every single week, kind of like we have, I guess the last 4 months and 11 days.
He hasn't really had a choice, though, has he?
Well, he has 100. I'm not going to sit here and say that. But he could easily give anyone else a chance. He could easily say, okay, Chiesa in the 9 or even Mo in the 9. There's a million different things you could do. You could say,
we know that, don't he?
Okay, again, to me, it's just about the lack of trying to do something. When you're 11 points ahead, you've kind of afforded yourself the ability to say, okay, things are slowing down a little bit. I could try this. What's the risk? What is the risk here? Rather than
Mike, we still got the best points record in the first half of the season, and we still got the best points record in the second half of the season.
This is not.
He doesn't need to change anything, really, does he?
This isn't denoting last season. This is just identifying a pattern.
No, I mean last year, is in the first half of the season, second half of the season, we've got higher points than any other team, and we're the most informed team, points wise.
Yeah. But we've slowed down quite a bit.
Behind Palace. Palace are behind us. That's how good Palace have been.
Okay. Let me just read these 2 super chats before we wrap up the stream. I think there's been a very interesting conversation today because we even got Jamie happy. We got Rio Gumoha, Sel Diaz, Rio backup for... but it was happy news today at least. Rio backup for Cody. Guys, we need to stop bringing in infants and think that they can be backups to starters.
Yeah,
use Arsenal's experience. Nwaneri is on the
Look at Chelsea.
Also, the difference between right wing and left wing is right wing. We have an established starter who we all want to fucking.
I think the kid scored 1 goal in the under-21 season.
I watched Rio against Brighton the other. I think it was. I watched the highlights of it today actually. Under 21s, Liverpool against Brighton, and Rio's got a lot to learn in the game as he goes through these older years, because he plays with his head down too much. He keeps the ball too much. He doesn't release it ever. He's got a lot of work to do before he even gets first team football for me.
Yeah, fair. Who is Bradley's backup? Gomez can't stay fit. I'll be honest with you. We need to put the whole like a guy being rotation for 10 positions in the bag. Like,
I'm tired of that bullshit.
Thank
bro.
you.
I don't care about that stuff. Bro.
I don't need to see Curtis Jones there again.
Just sign a right back. Just sign a right back. Simple.
I'm telling you though, they were definitely looking at Jones for that role. They worked on that and they looked at it. Let's hope it's over. Let's hope it's over.
But I feel like he won't want to do that. Like, he's not going to accept playing as like a right back, like moving forward. I don't feel like he'd accept that. But who knows?
I mean, to be fair to him, his mistake also wasn't entirely his fault. I know that he thought Konate would have gotten a head onto it. You could tell by the way that he planted himself.
If you look at the replay, Konate was shouting at him like before the ball even went. Like they were both like, he was like shouting at Jones, and Jones was looking at him, and then Konate did his thing where he missed it, and then Jones was like, he was
stuck
in the right place. He just miscontrolled it.
It wasn't even his fault. He was planted. He got stuck flat-footed.
It was a really good finish as well, by the way. Like, really good.
Virgil did very poorly to shrug him off twice.
He watched their player like Sessigan.
How about we just get 2 like young right backs and they can rotate with each other, whichever one we need for whichever.
We already have one.
Well, people are talking about Giovanni Reid, aren't they? Who's Feyenoord player, and Martin Fernandes, who's a Portuguese player.
Porto, Joao Mario as well at Porto. We could get.
Yeah, it could be. Could be.
Anyway, guys, we're gonna wrap up the stream here. Mike Das LFC is in the description. Go give him a subscribe. The Kmack channel in the description. Give him a subscribe. Jamie Phillips Football Chats in the description. Give him a subscribe. And GTVFC in the description. Go give every single one of them guys a subscription. Emeka doesn't have a channel yet. We're gonna get him there. You get me? So big up to all of you guys. This was absolutely enjoyable. Hopefully we just get back to winning ways, because if God forbid we lose this someday, I'm gonna have my Dubai trip ready. I'm just leaving. You guys do this whole content thing. Subscribe to Jamie for more Liverpool content. I'm out. Like, if we drop points in these next 2 games, I'm completely just.
It's not going to be easy this Sunday. I'm telling you that right now.
Agreed.
Scrap, you're a prick.
2-0 Liverpool.
He's such a prick.
You're actually a prick for that, honestly. You are. He's right. Like, there is no way you can even subscribe and like turn off notifications or something like that.
Notifications. No,
hold on. To be fair,
notifications.
They don't work.
No, notifications come turned off. You don't like. You have to turn those on. Like all you have to do is click the button.
You know what I'm gonna do? Let me tell you what I'm gonna do.
Everyone go and sub to me now because of that prick.
Yes, facts. I'm gonna post his link in the chat right now. Every single one of you guys in the live chat, go and subscribe to Kmack right now. Everyone just click the link and go give him a subscription. You fraud scraps. You see? Watch the Don Sam community now support Kmack. Your fraudulence, you bum. So everyone go give him a subscription. And the stream is gonna take you over to Flawless' stream. He's the only one live from the ones I've subscribed to. So go tell him Husam raid in his chat. He's live with Jacob as well. So yeah. Love you all and see you guys tomorrow. I'm only doing Arsenal Brentford, by the way. No one trying to see City Palace. Just put it in the bag. Peace out.
Nunez double on the weekend.